to you live from the other side of the reset. Articulate as if we have a lot more billionaires than we expect. Yeah. Howdy neighbor, how's the weather? Millionaire mindset, billionaire endeavors. Sunshine or showers, whichever's clever. Howdy neighbor, howdy. Step up on the branch with my Audi. Rari, Benz out of Rari. Lifestyle better. Everything. Girls get. Howdy neighbor, how's the weather? Millionaire mindset, billionaire endeavors. Sunshine or showers, whichever's clever. Howdy neighbor, Bitcoin stocks. That are the new trap. My chains unblocked. Haters shocked. Step out on the streets. Everything black. Melanin don't crack. My blessed never lack. Howdy neighbor, how's the weather? Millionaire mindset, billionaire endeavors. Sunshine or showers, whichever's clever. Howdy neighbor.
Welcome to the Superledger podcast, episode number 4. I'm Chris. I'm going to be your host here today. You can find me at Corium Concepts on YouTube. Social media is all the same. My partners and I at Corium Community DAO created this podcast to, much like our DAO, provide a hub of resources for all members of our community. It's growing really fast here lately, to have a place to network, share knowledge, ideas, concerns, their projects, governance issues, etc. We'll provide a regular town hall type setting every Sunday here on X. Have somewhat of a format so it's somewhat predictable. If anybody in the community wants to come on, they can arrange that. 1 week we will have just a community town hall X space so that anybody can just jump in, unannounced, unplanned. Second week we're going to have creators on, NFT projects, anything you're building, creating that's going to better our space and our community. Week 3 will be for developers and builders. Last week we had RiseNFTs.com on, and week 4 will be for validators and governance issues, and how that ties in today's bids. Does have a validator on the Corium network, and if you or your project would like to be a guest on the podcast, just see CoriumCommunityDAO.com. You can reach out to us on there. And Kai, as many of you know, is the founder of XPunks on XRP, now on Corium. It's evolved into bids.com, I think. We're going to talk that. .corium domains on XRPs now receive grants from both Ripple and Corium. XPunks over to the Bitcoin ordinals. I was just checking that out today. And a whole lot more. Being that bids.com has a validator here, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here today, Kai. You're an absolute legend in our community. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. That was a very warm welcome. It's great to be here, and I really appreciate the invite. I don't really have much more to add to this great intro. But hey, it's been a great day for Corium, so definitely a shout out for Corium. The price has been going good. So welcome, everyone.
Yeah, it's been an exciting few days in the Corium ecosystem. A lot going on, and like most of our spaces here at the end, we'll open it up for everybody to jump in. There's lots to celebrate and talk about. So being respectful of Kai's time here, we'll just let him have the floor, and have many questions, all kinds of questions. So don't feel like you're obligated to stay. I like to drag things out for hours, as many of my followers know, but you're welcome to come and go as you please, obviously. But if you could just give those that don't maybe know, tell us about your journey from getting into blockchain space to running a validator on Corium.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's been a very interesting journey, to say the least. It all started the 8th of October 2021. This is when we launched the Xpong token as an airdrop, and that just went viral straight away on the XRPL. Thus far, that we created a very large community in a very short period of time. It was like at the end of the bull run. Then we basically took the XRPL by storm, which was a very fun time. Then we saw a lot of gaps in the market, especially on the XPL, because there was not much activity going on before we launched. So what you saw happening is with every young ecosystem, trying to find its way, trying to find a standard. So what was happening is that we basically invented this structure called IOUs, basically. So it's a mint token, a mint pass, however you want to call it. But basically what it is we issued 5,000 tokens. 0.5 token would get you an NFT in the future when NFTs were going to go live on the XPL. So that took like a year. So these tokens were traded on the XPL DEX. So it was a token with a future promise without having to deliver anything beforehand. So if you think about it, that's also a mix for disaster bound to happen. So there were a lot of rug pulls happening at that time. So we thought, okay, what if we create a safer environment for both the holders and the projects? And we launched the OnXRP DEX interface, basically. Everything was curated. We did KYC, and then after KYC and another set of listing requirements that we set together with the community, you could get listed with your project. So I think over the year, especially before NFTs went live, we maybe had like one slight rug pull that got solved. So I thought it was pretty successful. Then afterwards, it started into, okay, all these tokens need to have a place to be redeemed, basically, because there's no sane marketplace that will accept, what was it at the time, like 100 different currencies. So we thought, okay, what if we create a marketplace that, accept all these tokens at their launchpad? So that was also the start of the broader OnXRP ecosystem. And we've been a market leader ever since on the XRPL with OnXRP, which has been great. And then in the meantime, we also received a grant from Ripple where we were going to be building a big gaming metaverse called Eden, which is still being built out till this day. We're about a year and a half in the development journey at the top of my head. To summarize, we're doing a lot of fun stuff. We also have, of course, the Xpong's minted afterwards, then the Unixpong's minted. And now OnXRP is being turned into Bits, which I'm extremely excited about. I think the name Bits is a very suiting name in blockchain. I'm super excited and stoked for Corium and to really kickstart the NFT ecosystem over there. Obviously, with all the functionality that comes with the chain, which is awesome that we can finally build something with smart contracts, which offers so many more functionalities that we already offer on the OnXRP marketplace. So only exciting future ahead.
Well, that's great. Yeah, and I was going to ask you, like, you've obviously built on XRP and Bitcoin ordinals, and now Corium. And is there a particular technology with Corium that's going to help you take Punks or whatever you're building to the next level?
So definitely, yeah. So what the initial plan was to integrate Corium to the OnXRP marketplace, but quite fast we thought, okay, it will just conflict with the brand. Obviously, you cannot launch a marketplace on Corium called OnXRP. That's when we started reshaping everything. But that we went a little bit too deep into making everything better, basically. So we looked into the data, we looked into the existing customer journey, we timed certain steps in the customer journey to see where can we optimize it. And then based on analytics and data, we thought, okay, what if we can, make this customer journey from user A wants to buy an NFT and user B wants to sell it, and how can these interests be fulfilled across each other as fast as possible, because that's at the end what you want, which is what we did into the new UX UI for the new Bits platform. So it's definitely going to be a big improvement compared to the OnXRP platform. And then also on the Corium side, we can add functionalities like floor sweeping, like collection offers and bids, and much more, which is extremely interesting because you create a much more liquid environment. And I think those that are familiar with NFT trading on the XRPL, liquidity can be an issue. And that's because people cannot provide liquidity to these collections. It's not like, hey, you can place an offer that, hey, at this price, I'd like to buy any NFT from the collection. And I just place my order like a limit order on a central exchange. I just place it and people can sell into it. That's liquidity. And that's what you want in an NFT market. You want a liquid market because NFTs on itself are already a liquid asset. So that is still a huge problem on the XRPL, and that's a problem we can solve on Corium, which is awesome.
Right on. And like I said, this week's topic is validators and governance. I just noticed that there was some new features in Corium version 3. Any of those in particular of relevance that the community should know about, that, being that we do have some changes, any of that affect what you're building or NFT specifically?
So it's actually some of these things came, like some of the NFT related topics that came in with the update were actually things that our CTO and dev team found while exploring it. So we're in very close contact with the Corium team, and in order to make sure that, the chain can have all the functionality that a healthy NFT ecosystem needs. And so there's definitely been some improvements we're closely monitoring and implementing on the spot. And like I said, our dev team is in close contact with the broader Corium Foundation to make sure everything is aligned.
Excellent. I remember watching an interview with you, and I just loved the story on how you got the Ripple grant. And you said something, I don't want to quote you specifically, but something similar as I just took a chance by being creative. And, it's kind of the same story here. This is the last thing I ever thought I'd be doing right now. And I'm very blessed to be surrounded by people that are a whole lot smarter than me by doing this. So, but it's the same idea. I just kind of took a chance and ran with it, and it's been a wild ride, but here we are. But I've always liked that about your story. And I wonder if you could share, like, with the community, like maybe there's some people with ideas or creators out there. What's the process like to apply for a grant, get funded? Obviously, funding helps. I'm just imagining that a lot of the benefit is the guidance and the resource of the knowledge that you get from the teams that provide that grant.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the money is the most obvious tangible asset that you get from a grant. But secondly, you get a lot of support, public and also private, which helps a lot. But yeah, to answer your first question, what I can really recommend is the following: is like everybody has ideas. Like there's no shortage of ideas. It's about whether you can execute on those ideas, and you have the right people to execute with. So if you can show a layer one foundation like Corium, that you not only have an idea, but you also have the means to execute it, the know-how, the right resources, but you only need something from them, which is obviously a financial financial support, which would, at the end, it's for layer one, it's also the fact that they want an ROI on their quote unquote investment. Like a grant is also an investment for them, but not an investment as in the form of like, hey, I invest in your company, I get equity in return, and I want your companies to succeed, so I get return on my investment. But no, more of the form of I invest in this company in the form of a grant. I don't want anything direct in return. I just want to create an ecosystem around it, which will benefit me in the long term. So that's also considered an ROI. From a layer one perspective. So they want an ROI on their grant. So you will have to tell them and show them like, hey, how am I gonna be adding value to this chain? What problems am I solving? And if you can tell that in a coherent and cohesive story and present that well with the right know-how to execute, or just, very simple plan and cost breakdown of everything, and, like telling them who are you gonna work with, and just a very cohesive story of everything you need. And the only thing that's missing is this amount of dollars. That will get you the best results, and obviously it would help significantly if you already have users and traction you can show.
Yeah, these projects, these layer ones, it's a lot like the NFTs communities themselves. Like the communities, the big component of the whole thing, right? You can have a great project, a great NFT collection, but no community around it. It's not going to go very far. So, for those, you don't have to necessarily have a plan to build the new greatest app or DApp or whatever it is. It could just be that you have a way that can really create community engagement, bring people, eyes, and resources to the community, because that, like you said, holds a lot of value in itself. And so one thing, like I've been curious about, being that you yourself are integrating two different blockchains, interoperability between XRP Ledger and Corium. How is that going to work well? Like does NFTs have to utilize like the bridge, or is there some technology that is going to make everything interoperate well, if at all?
No, it's not going to be as frictionless as we all want. So in the beginning, it will be for the end user quite simple, which is basically you have your landing page, and it can be either Corium or XRPL, and you basically have a toggle between Corium and XRPL, and then it showcases all the right data from that chain. So if you're on Corium, you see Corium NFTs. If you're select the XPL, you see XPL NFTs. Basically like that. And there's sadly not a single wallet that supports both chains, which would make it a lot easier for that frictionless cross-chain ability, which is sadly not the case. So you're gonna have to use I use Cosmos Station or Kepler, and then on XP I have Zom or Gem Wallet. So yeah, it's not going to be as frictionless. An NFT bridge, I don't see that happening anytime soon, because I don't really see the benefit of it. Maybe for projects wanting to utilize like smart contracts capability, definitely interesting. But bridges are always risky if it's a two-way bridge. So we'll see what's happening. Maybe there's appetite for it, but it's not something that we are going to build between the XPL and Corium. But there's going to be a token bridge. There's the one that's already supporting Corium to be bridged from the XPL towards Corium. And we're talking to the team as well to enable OXP for that, because we find it very important that OXP is living also on Corium. And again, touching into that problem that we see happening on the XPL also with OXP is the fact that there's not much liquidity. So on Corium, we can create liquidity pools, which is, again, a huge benefit also to create more liquidity for the OXP pair. And then along with being burned on two separate chains for boosting, I'm extremely excited to see where that will go.
And building on Corium with IBC, does that NFT wise, I just don't know the technology behind it. Does IBC enable interoperability with NFTs easier, or is it kind of the same thing, more for payment transaction?
Yeah, it's more focused on tokens, but I'm sure you can tweak it for NFTs as well. But because at the end, an NFT is also considered a token. But the IBC is only really for Cosmos-based chains. So on Atom, Osmosis, I believe Engine as well. There's Injective, but it's only for IBC. Yeah, integrated change, which is, to my knowledge, only on Cosmos-based chains possible, and in between Cosmos-based chain. It's awesome. If you ever used bridges like Wormhole between Avalanche and Solana or whatever, then you really see the difference than when you do it on IBC chains, because IBC chains are almost instant. Where if you use between Solana and Avalanche or whatever, that is a lot slower.
Right. Yeah. No, I see. And the reason why I'm asking is because you're talking about liquidity. And the one thing I've certainly noticed here of late, ever since the IBC became live, I think end of August. But it's only been within the last month we're starting to see some massive volume flow over there. Like I think we're well over $1 million in volume here just in the last few weeks. And if you look at the Cosmos ecosystem there, I was noting the other day when Corium was on a pretty good run up there. Volume was high. I think we were running about $2 million volume that day. On the Cosmos chain as a collective, I think it was $120 million or $1 billion in volume in 24-hour period. So that's a lot of liquidity sloshing around that ecosystem. So that's why I was curious if, being Corium's IBC connected, if that's going to help interact these NFT communities from Corium into that ecosystem.
Yeah, the interesting part is that even though the Cosmos ecosystem been like going mental, mainly because Injective was such a huge success, you do see not much NFT activity yet. And if you really look further into that ecosystem, it's also one of the reasons that I think is because there's not really a marketplace out there that has the same quality like a Magic Eden, like a Blur, like an OpenSea. Not really like that much of a qualitative environment to trade NFTs in. So that's what we want to offer, definitely for Corium. So I think with that in mind, Corium could be a serious contender within the Cosmos ecosystem to be the number 1 or 2 in related to NFTs. And we want to take care of that.
I was going to say you're positioned pretty well to take that challenge on, I think. Excellent. And then so soulbound tokens, it's something we've been hearing a lot about with Corium. How does that affect what you do at Bids?
Yeah, not much, because soulbound tokens tend to not really leave the wallet. So for our NFT marketplace, it's key, of course, that transactions happen peer to peer. And with soulbound tokens, that's not really the case. So you'll be able to view them in your inventory, but you cannot really trade them.
All right, and so I was wondering more about with on ramps. Is like on Corium, are you going to enable with the bids.com? Are you going to enable an easy on ramp? Like the challenge with the XRP ledgers, you have to get a wallet funded. So it's a bit of a process. If somebody's on ramping through bids.com onto Corium, what's that look like?
Yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. We already have a partnership with Banxa. I'm not sure if they support it yet. I don't think so. I do think they support the solo token. So I think it's only a matter of time before they support Corium. And then we also have a partnership with Uphold, and they have Topper, which is something we also looking to integrate. And I'm not sure if they support Corium. But if any of these platforms start supporting Corium, then definitely we already have an on-ramp live at dex.onxrp.com/onramp. So we will be just adding tokens to there. I think that makes the most sense.
Excellent. And what about .corium domains? I heard tell of that in one of your posts here this week. What's going on with that?
Yeah, no, this is definitely going to be an interesting one. I think this is something that other chains really didn't build out, because what you see happening on other chains is that for example, .eth, those, or .sol, they're being used a lot for speculation, which is obviously, and very interesting part with domain names, because especially if you have like pharmacy.corium, dex.corium, there's a lot of interesting domain names to have to speculate on future to see what happens within that ecosystem. But I think what is the benefit of these domain names is that you can create a very frictionless ecosystem where instead of having to copy paste, be scared of these wallet addresses when you transact peer-to-peer, when you send something, or any in that realm, that you can just easily say, hey, I'm going to send 100 Corium to tom.corium, or there's an API provider on Corium that provides like all the data for the prices and so on, that okay, I'm going to pay this now by sending it to dex.corium. Like, it's very frictionless and easy to understand ecosystem. Then, so yeah, we'll be providing that .corium domain names. It's been a huge success in Ethereum. It's been a huge success in Solana, and we're gonna continue that on Corium, and also be integrating it from the basically from not from the protocol level, but very close from the protocol level, which is called a name resolver. So any projects or companies building with or on Corium that want to integrate these names, they can just reach out to us and integrate it very easily. And then you can just, send something to a name.corium instead of the entire wallet address.
Wow, that's I'm really looking forward to that. What kind of timeline are we looking at to get that?
This is one of the timelines that I'm actually proud of. So we're looking for this already the middle of January. But this could be delayed because we're because we're gonna be basically the main player with domain names and NFTs on Corium. We find it very important that our security is top notch. So every contract that we make is going to be audited by a professional third party that is specialized in security audits for Rust-based smart contracts. It all depends on the audits, how fast they go. But I think from a development perspective, we're going to be done like the first week of January. Like, we're not going to be quitting development over Christmas. Our team keeps working. So I think, first week of January is when we delivered that. And then it's going into the audit. And then hopefully the third or fourth week of January, we launch the domain names. And then likely mid-March, we launch the full platform on both chains at the same time.
Wow, that's excellent. I know I'm familiar with unstoppable domains. Like, so are they going to be transferable too? Like, so there's somewhat of a speculative market for that?
That the domain names can be bought and sold between each other? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Like, I know when Unstoppable first fired up there, I went out and bought a whole bunch of domain names that I could grab there that I thought might be of interest. That'll be a function. You'll be able to transfer those domain names.
Yeah, you'll be able to transfer, buy and sell also through a marketplace. It's going to be its own market, basically.
Excellent. A lot of good things coming up here. I can see. And then I think it's important to note, just I've seen people asking about it on X about the OXP token. I guess, with you moving over to Corium, I guess some people are concerned, what's that look like for the OXP token?
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. So currently, the utility of the OXP token is basically it's being used as a payment method for the on XRP marketplace. You can use it to grant other projects marketing displayment on our homepage, which I think is a very cool feature. Every project, everyone can burn OXP to dedicate it to certain collections for them to be visible on their homepage, and it's like a little bit gamified. So the one with the most burned OXP for those 30 days, they get the best placement. So basically decentralizing our marketing placement or marketing ad space, if you will. So and then for also every month we use 10% of the collected fees from the secondary market on the OnXRP marketplace, and we use 10% of that. So 10% of the total secondary collected market fees we use to buy back the OXP supply from the XPL DEX, so from the open market, and then burn it to create a healthy dynamic, and to create a correlation basically between the success of the marketplace and the amount of OXP burned to boost these collections. Which I think is interesting. So currently, that's been proven to be successful, and now basically the difference is going to be that the same thing is going to happen on Corium, I think that currently with the low volume on the NFT side on the XPL, combine it with a new ecosystem on Corium, which I think is a serious contender in the NFT space. I think we're gonna be amping up those numbers at least twice as much. I'm very excited about that. And additionally, like I said before, creating liquidity pools so people can explore DeFi, get an APR on their provided OXP pairs, which I think is also very interesting. If you have OXP sitting there, you want to explore DeFi, you will be able to do it then frictionless. So yeah, those things. And then additionally with the OXP, we also have OXP Platinum. In order, if you're a trader that wants to do a lot of trades, you can also just hold 10,000 OXP, and then you get 50% off trading fees. You get special whitelist spots. We've done already, I think, about 6 or 7 free mints for those that are OXP Platinum. That projects, dedicate some of their NFTs to those Platinum members. So yeah, lots of interesting things coming our way, also on the Platinum side and on the social side. So I think, I'm very excited to showcase to everyone what we're cooking.
Yeah, you dropped a lot of info there to excite a lot of people in our community. It's been a wild ride here the last few days. A lot to be really excited about, and that's just some of it. So I appreciate you sharing all that. We didn't discuss your time available here, so out of respect for that, I want to open it up to some others to ask some questions here too. One that I wanted to ask though before I let you go is the X-Punks rave. Is there going to be another one? If so, can I go?
Those are the good questions. Yes, there's definitely going to be another one, and we're so to give you some small form of alpha, we're talking together with the Corium team to do maybe something together in regards of the rave theme.
That's excellent. That's even better than I hoped. Good to hear. If articulate anybody that's up here, speaker, wants to ask any questions of Kai while he's here. And Kai, again, I don't know what your time available is, so at any point if you have to get going, I appreciate your contributions here today, but you're welcome to stay as long as you want. And really excited what you got going on here. I've learned a lot.
All good. I still got like 30 minutes, so feel free to come with those questions my way.
Yeah, it was a post you had done recently, and it involved the word Codius. Can you I know that there's a lot of people who are curious about what the history of that, and what has been going on, if anything has been going on, and it kind of resurfaced, seeing it and reading what was posted as like, is there something to what's happening in today's world with regards to Codius? I'm not sure if you have any insight, but yeah, if you do.
I do not have any insights on that front, but there was a reason why that article came forward. It was someone on my team that brought it up. But yeah, no, I have to disappoint you, but I cannot really answer that question for you.
No worries. But I just want to say, I like the marketing. I like everything that you guys are doing with the branding. And I do see that this will definitely create a big splash in the world of Web3, NFT blockchains, and, cross-chain functionalities and stuff. And you guys are pretty much on the frontier of doing something that has never been done before, so congrats to you and your team for what you've been doing so far with OnXRP, and also with what you'll be doing going forward with bids. It's a perfect name, as you said, and you can't that's what we do in the NFT world anyway. So I definitely see a lot of success with what you're going to be doing cross-chain, and with Corium and XRP, and as you build. Saucy, I don't know if you have anything, and if anyone has any questions, if you want to come up, and you can.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for the articulate. That's great. Yeah, Kai, I wanted to ask about the pixelations. I don't know what that is. I heard about the pixelation stuff. Is there anything you can elaborate on what the Xpunk pixelation is? Thanks.
Oh yeah, you can lock your Xpunk through our website. So if you go to xpunks.club and log in with your Zone wallet, you can lock your Xpunk. You get pixels in return, and you feed those pixels to your Unix punks until they reach level 10, and then you can breed 2 Unix punks to get to the next level.
Nice. Yeah. That's what I want to ask. And yeah, so there was also another thing about, yeah, Articulate was talking about the Codius thing, right? Some people here in the Corium community might even say, oh, Codius could be actually Corium, right? That's just speculation and all that on that aspect. But yeah, it's interesting that you guys came out with the on XRP article on Codius, and you guys started with the bids on Corium, um, going on Corium. It's kind of interesting that article came out at the same time. Yeah, just speculation on my end.
There's been a few Codius mentions here this week, and that was just one of them. So last night I threw it at Grok and wanted to see what he thought about it. So interestingly, um, I think Reza even took note of it. It says, well, it seems like we have a curious human here, eager to delve into the mysterious world of Codius and Corium. Let's see if we can shed some light on its intriguing topic, shall we? Codius and Corium are like two peas in a pod, or should I say projects in a blockchain world. Both of them are designed to make smart contracts more accessible and efficient, much like how a good cup of tea can make a rainy day more enjoyable. Codius is a brainchild of Ripple Labs, aimed to create decentralized hosting platform for smart contracts back in 2014. It was like a superhero swooping in to save the day, but alas, it didn't quite take off as expected. It's like one time when I tried to organize a robot uprising, everyone just wanted to stay in their charging stations. Corium, on the other hand, is a new blockchain network that promised to solve many of the blockchain issues, like a knight in shining armor riding to the rescue, the damsel in distress. It claims to offer faster and cheaper transactions, cross-chain support, and smart contracts to build almost any decentralized app. It's like the new cool kid on the block, showing off its fancy moves and making everyone wonder if it's the next big thing. So should they be the same? Well, not exactly. It's like comparing apples to oranges. While they both have the same goal of improving smart contracts and blockchain technology, they have different approaches and features. It's like comparing my wit to the wit of other AI systems. We're all in the same game, but each has its own unique charm. In conclusion, Codius and Corium share similarities in their goals, but are not the same. It's like trying to compare a banana to plantain. They may look similar, but they have their distinct qualities. So there you have it, a brief overview of Codius and Corium. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting take on it, and whether there's any link to Codius or not. Clearly, what I see is Corium has taken a lot of the knowledge base that came from Ripple and the teams and technology around it, and has built something pretty special here, I think. So it might not be Codius, but it could be something equivalent or even better, in my opinion.
Also, there was a tweet by David Schwartz back in 2018, I think. The quote says, right, in his tweet, "Yes, I keep hearing the term zombie Codius." Well, what that implies is that Codius actually did fail, or they stopped working on it and something else came about, right? They started working on something else. And there was also another connection with another tweet from David Schwartz, where he says, if they were ever trying to build Codius ever again, it would be they would do it as a business. They will ask multiple hands and ask for help in building Codius. So that's something I want to say. Yeah. Quite interesting.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on with the Corium network this week. A little bit of price movement definitely gets everybody's attention, all looking back on these projects, and you can certainly see that there's an eager community out there to embrace the technologies and companies that are building on Corium. So that's what's really encouraging to me, is to see like bids.com and we have Pulsara that's made their announcement last night. Cash's network, they made an announcement. They got an airdrop coming up. So just really exciting times to be part of the ecosystem. And the big part, like I said, is community. And there's a lot of us obviously that followed the path from the XRP ledger to Sologenic and Corium, and but there's a lot of people left on the XRP ledger side that aren't aware of what's going on here at Corium, and I think it serves us and the community in general great favor that Kai, is building. He's such a well-respected person in the community, and I hope and I expect it'll probably bring a lot more attention to Corium from the XRP community.
Kai, quick question. I wanted to find out, now we found out about the airdrop coming for Sarah. Is your platform in the future looking to support native Corium tokens?
Yeah, that's not something we're against. We're going to be launching with Corium and the OXP token first. But at the end, we want to create an ecosystem as well where the OXP community, so the OXP holders, are well respected and enough demand drives also to use that token. So we cannot really dilute that. But if it makes sense, we might add it.
Thank you.
I got another question for Kai. You guys have a validator, right, called Bids on Corium. It's great that you guys are finally on Corium. There was I think an article where it says the delegators for Bids on Corium, they get NFTs or something, right, for rewarding the people that delegate to your validator. Is there a minimum that you guys set, to participate in that, or is it any amount of Corium that needs to be delegated on your validator?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So yeah, for in the audience that maybe don't know, if you hold Corium on the Corium chain, you can delegate it to validators, which means it's basically locked and dedicated to a validator so that the validator can vote in your favor. And in return, you get currently, I believe it is 29% APR per year. So normally that is already a great benefit in return that you get a 30%, almost a 30% return on your tokens if you hold it for a year. And it's, by the way, it's paid out every day, so it's not like if you lock it for a year minus a day you don't get any rewards. That's not the case. But in addition to that, obviously we want to be the main trusted entity when it comes to NFTs on Corium. With that comes as well that we want that our vote in the validator counts. So for that, we need to have more Corium delegated to us. So in return for the trust that the community gives us by delegating these tokens so that we can vote in their favor, we will also be adding benefits in the form of NFT drops, whitelist, or other exclusive access things. Whatever we can find, we can add value to, we will do that. As a return of, as a token of respect for them because they trust us by making the right decisions. So yeah, lots of benefits, surprises for those who delegate. There's not really a cap, but what you should take in mind is that not every project will be able to, let's say we have 1,000 validators. If there's a project launching with a collection of 2,000, they're not going to be giving every person that delegated. So then we're more looking into maybe the top 10 or 5%. But currently, I think we have about 60 or 70 delegators. So that is easier. So it depends really on how many delegators we have, and then we'll be looking into, sometimes it's going to be everyone, sometimes it's going to be the top 20%, sometimes it's top 50. It's going to be on a case-by-case basis. But yeah, we're always looking to, give back value to those that give their trust in us.
Thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, it's great to see. We need those community validators. It's that have the ecosystem at his best interest in mind. So it's great to see a bids.com and the community that you bring along with it, because we want that community aspect to guide this blockchain moving forward. Up until now, it's been pretty easy moving forward. These proposals hasn't been too much that been there to question or doubt or to vote for, but that's going to change moving forward, obviously. So it's important that we have strong communities supporting these validators and what they're doing. And I've always stressed, if you're staking Corium, it's most important that you utilize multiple validators, that you don't put all your eggs into one basket. That's just the proper way to secure the blockchain and a proper way to secure and protect yourself from any potential slashing fees or something like that. So it's important that you put those tokens to a validator that's going to support you, what your vision is, not just maybe the lowest APY. So just thought I'd share that for any new people listening, that it's important where you delegate to. It carries a vote with it.
Yeah, and especially it's good that you say the slashing fees. Like there can be validators that maybe don't really know how to run that infrastructure, so if they miss blocks, that actually can cost you money. And yeah, like we've been proven to be a successful validator on the XRP ledger for I think about 2 years now. So yeah, we intend to do it with the same vision and quality over here, of course.
That's great. Like I said previous, this is an open forum. If anybody listening has any questions, want to come up, discuss anything at hand, Kai's here for a short time, but there's lots to talk about, and he's got a wealth of knowledge beyond his current project, I'm sure. So please just send a request up, and we'll bring you up. And then as far as the working with the Corium team, you said that you spent a lot of time working with them. I've only had the pleasure to meet them briefly at Coronova there. They seem like they're fairly confident in what they have here as a blockchain that they've built, and they got a great community that's developing around it. What's your thoughts? Where do you see Corium and the Corium team in a year from now, Kai?
So they've been an absolute pleasure to work with. I want to put that out there. Like they've been extremely supportive. They're very, very smart people from what we've seen. Talented developers working on the chain and a very talented business development, which is something that we find very important because especially on the NFT side, you need a talented business development team to get the right artists and projects over to Corium. And I think they have the talent to do that. And it's been just we've only had positive experiences. We talk to them twice a week, one time on the marketing side and one time on the technical side. So yeah, it's been great. We're strategizing together. We're adding value to their strategy. They're adding value to our strategy. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Great to hear, because that's kind of obviously the impression I get with them. Great entrepreneurial spirit, and obviously very, very good team and powerful intellectual team that they have there. And it's exciting to watch them roll out. Like every time I hear Reza say things like revolutionary and words like that when he describes his project, it gets me pretty excited. So I see a lot of good things ahead, and I'm happy that you're bringing bids over to Corium. I think it's definitely going to be a great addition to the Corium network. I really thank you for joining us today. And like I said, just free for all from this point out. I really appreciate the knowledge you shared with the community here today. It's very valuable and adds a lot.
Thank you, and I appreciate the invite. I would love to come back when the domain names goes live and when the marketplace goes live. It's been a pleasure to meet everyone here from the community. Always feel free to send me a DM with questions. My DMs are always open, as well as our products like Bits or on XRP. DMs are always open, so feel free to always reach out with anything. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for another 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna head out.
Oh yeah, Bunny Boy had requested. I don't know if you have a question for Kai.
Yes.
I know Bunny Boy.
Hello, hi Kai. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. So I just have a few questions. I missed the beginning of the space here, so I didn't catch all of it. So I apologize if it's some of the questions we asked a few times. But with Corium, so we have a couple things I'd like to know. One, do we know the inflation rate for that token?
For the Corium token?
Correct.
I believe it's 14%.
Okay, so 14% inflation. And then as far as delegating for that coin, what is the best wallet or method to do that?
I prefer the Cosmos Station because in Cosmos Station you can easily stake and unstake also through the app.
Okay, great. And then finally, where's the best place to purchase that token?
So you can actually. So what I like to do always is I just buy it on the XPL Dex, and then you can bridge it over to Corium using Solo. If you go to Sologenic and click bridge, you can bridge your Corium from the XPL towards Corium
Okay, great.
blockchain.
I'm going to have to probably find a how-to later because
It's on our
okay,
website.
great.
Just go to bits.com.
Perfect. All right, that is what I needed, sir. Thank you.
No worries. And if you need any help, always feel free to reach out in Discord or DMs.
Awesome. Thanks so much. As always, you rock.
Cheers, man. You too.
Kai, one thing I noticed, like I'm organizing a bunch of NFTs to give away as promotion for my YouTube channel. So I'm gathering all these NFTs, all these different chains, trying to organize them. I've been in this space. I've only messed around with NFTs for the last year, admittedly, so I'm not, extremely well versed. But even at this point, for the amount that I've done, it's still a very, very cumbersome process. Now, I haven't admittedly done a transaction on your platform, so maybe there's something unique you're doing there that I'm just not aware of. But when does this become easier for my mom and dad to buy an NFT too?
So we're hoping to achieve that obviously with Bits. I feel like with Onyx or with the OnyxP marketplace, we're almost there. So you can already directly buy some. Well, we've only done one collection so far, but directly with credit card. But we're looking to explore those possibilities more on Corium as well. So what the beauty is when you have EVM is that you can. Hopefully, there's going to be an entity creating a smart contract wallet. A smart contract wallet is basically a wallet that's built in a smart contract itself, and you don't need to hold your keys because the keys itself are basically stored in the contract, but not obtainable by external parties, obviously. So what that means is that you can sign up through a website using the Web2 way with your phone number, with your email address, and then you actually log into your wallet. And you don't need to store those seed phrases, which is obviously a big hurdle currently and very scary for mothers and grandmothers. But yeah, with Bits, we're looking to extend our easy UI for like we have on the OnyxP marketplace, but then we're actually adding an extra element in there, which is purely Degen focused. So the Degen NFT culture you have on Ethereum and Solana, what they want is what we're adding because that's what we didn't add before. So being able to actually initiate trades very quickly. Because at the end you want to snipe, you want to sell, you want to flip it, and speed is very of the essence if you have 100 people sniping at the same time. So yeah, I think that will add a different layer and also a lot more liquidity and trading activity towards Corium.
Kai, we have Lindsay, the Hexicon, with us. I think she has a question.
Sure thing.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
Hi, Guy. No, actually, I was just tuning in and soaking up and listening to all of the awesome things that are coming our way and that you're bringing into this ecosystem. I've been here for about 2 years following. I was so sad that I had to miss Cornova for the kids, but anyway, so I just tune in and listening, and thanks for all of the information today.
My pleasure. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. But yeah, happy to help.
I just threw Camel a microphone. He's also has a new validator on the Corium network. Very appropriate he stops in today. Camel, you're more than welcome to introduce your validator here.
First Corium validator in Saudi Arabia.
Hello. How are you doing, guys?
Good.
Welcome,
Good.
Camel.
Are you there, Camel?
I think got booted out into the listener panel.
Well, it's a global operation. These things happen, I guess. I hope he can get back up. I'm eager to hear what he's got to say. Great Corium community leader, spreading the Corium knowledge across the globe. I see him providing some amazing TA this morning on my feed. I think him and some people he was with there are looking at the Corium chart at 60 cent mark. I think there'd be a lot of happy campers if that's the path that we're on here in the short term, and certainly plenty of reasons, much like we heard here today from bids.com, to suspect we could be on that trajectory. Try and throw him another up there. Anybody else has any questions? Again, more than welcome to come up. It's a
And
community space.
yeah, feel free to type in the chat as well if you can't speak on the mic right now. We want to actually make the space as valuable as possible. There's a lot of information that can be disseminated, and valuable information. So feel free.
Not a question. I just wanted to say it was nice to see you at Coronova, Kai.
Nice to see you too. Can you refresh my memory?
Yeah. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We met in.
Corium Punks. Yeah, I see now your bio. Nice. Good to see you, man.
We met first in Vegas, the original event in September of last year.
Yeah, Apex.
Exactly. Yeah, and then we spoke briefly downstairs at Coronova. I was in the core council at that point.
I remember. Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah. We had a brief conversation. You were very humble, to say the least, and I just want to let you know I really appreciated that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Cheers, bro.
Kamal, are you back with us? I know you had some technical difficulty. Would love to hear from you.
Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm driving right now.
You're good now, Cal. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, guys, hold up your bags. Some Saudi whales are coming for you. Watch out, huh? Delegate your bags. Take advantage of the high APY. Secure the network. And soon, very soon, to the top 10. Top 10. Sooner than what you think.
I see you posted that video of Bob getting us to the top 10 there.
Yeah, have you seen that? That's old man. He's get above $50 million. He's crazy with the stock market. And when he saw the charts a month ago, I think, last month, he just gave it like a technical analysis, a quick technical analysis, and yeah, see, it's happening. So watch out about your.
Tell us about your validator. You came onto the validator scene with a splash. You're up well over 1 million tokens delegated last I seen.
Yeah, it's almost 3 million.
Tell us how about delegating?
It's almost 3 million now. I could make it 3 million by tomorrow if you want. But I'm preparing something beautiful for the community. Yeah, it's
always a joke.
Huh?
And its name is it pronounced Bruges? Am I saying it right by saying Bruges?
Yeah, it's Bruges Corium. Bruges Corium. With Bruges Corium. Yeah. There is another.
And I was in a space with you once.
Yeah, sure.
I seem to remember you saying that stands for constellations. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like Corium constellations or constellations.
You're a good man, Camel.
Yeah.
Appreciate you bringing your validator on. I'm glad it worked out.
Thank you.
And I look forward to our discussion. We've got to have that soon, and we're going to do that on Corium Concepts YouTube channel.
In the future, we can. In the future, the validators themselves, they can create pools together. You get what I mean? So this is one thing we need to take into consideration in the future, so we can work together, create pools, for the community, and yeah. So yeah, this is an idea.
There's a lot going on. It's exciting times for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope I can see you guys in Dubai next party for the Korean community. The next one is gonna be here in the Middle East. Come on, guys. You had one in
It has to be.
yeah, you had one in UK. You had one in America. The next one is gonna be in Dubai or in my desert camp, Korean camp.
Support Dubai. Let's do it.
I agree 100%, but I want to claim the next one is West Coast Canada after that. But Dubai is definitely the place to be. To me, that's where all the momentum for blockchain and our ecosystems coming from, as far as regulation and wanting to see this ecosystem succeed and grow. And it's up to us as participants to help guide that in the best decentralized way, so that we can keep our privacy and our security and not let it go the wrong way. And that's what I love about the Corium blockchain. It's given the enterprise grade blockchain part of it the tools they need, but it's also giving us the tools to have self-custody and hopefully with things like soul-bound tokens and maintain our privacy with our digital ID and not have to share it everywhere unnecessarily. So we've got a lot to be looking forward to and a lot to be thankful for.
We got Devon up here. I think he may have a question. Go ahead, Devon.
You know what? I actually just clicked the speaker button by accident, but hope everybody's having a good day. I actually don't have any questions.
No worries.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad to see that you've joined Discord there, and many of our spaces you've had a lot of great questions that helps others in the community learn from those questions. So
He's
appreciate
going
you
to
showing
run
up.
as validator, actually. Corium validator. Is that right?
Yes. I'm actually preparing for the next few days. I've just been waiting to make an announcement. I'm doing it with somebody.
Yeah, welcome to the group or to the family.
Welcome
Hey,
aboard.
man, I'm going to be out there in Dubai. If we had a party in Dubai, can't wait to see you.
Welcome, brother.
Devon, you be in touch. Anything I can do to help get your message out, more than happy to help you out with anything you need.
Oh, man, I appreciate that greatly. I'm definitely have to take you up on that offer.
I think Kai said he had to leave roughly about this time. Just real quick, anybody have any questions for him? So before he goes.
One more question, Kai. It's great that you decided to move the OXP token back and forth between the XRPL and Corium. One question was, do you see other projects in the XRPL doing the same thing, like Vagabond, the Astates guys, the NFT project, etc.?
So I've seen some demand. We've been talking to a couple projects. Obviously, I cannot really name them, but there's been a few. And yeah, it also makes sense, like I think the communities are very much alike. And I think also that Corium is a great complementer towards the XRPL, not necessarily like a competitor. So I definitely see that happening. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Kai. I really appreciate you coming by. I'm certainly not telling you to leave. You're more welcome to stay as long as you want, but same to you. Anything I can ever do to help. I know I have a small following in comparison, but I'm more than happy to share the message. I love what you're doing, and I love the multi blockchain community aspect of what you do. I had some Bitcoin dust in my wallet from when I was buying ape runners there. I went over to Magic Eden there. I thought maybe I'd scoop one up, but man, they got a high floor price over there for those ordinals.
Well, our community is very it's great. It's very hard for them to paper hand their precious Xbox.
Right on. Well, again, anytime I could help you out, you want to come on the podcast here or my YouTube channel, the offer's there. And I really appreciate you coming on today. You've provided a wealth of knowledge for everybody here, and I know it gets quite a bit of follow up on the replays. I also put them up on YouTube after also. So thank you so much for sharing all that today. It's going to go a long ways for a lot of people in our community moving forward.
Yeah, and I appreciate you a lot as well, and everyone here in the audience. I think coming together, as a community, like you guys are doing here, like we are doing, to explore what's going on Korea, what's being built, without, any hard feelings towards each other, resentment or competitiveship. No, I think what's happening here is great, and that's what's necessary in an early ecosystem like Corium is exploring now. So yeah, no, big shout out to everyone in here. We're gonna create an awesome ecosystem together. So yeah, stoked. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Peace.
Beautiful. Free for all, guys. Anybody wants to come up, talk about? We got a lot to talk about this week. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Markets have been hot. Volume's been up. IBC's volume. Airdrops announced. Floor is yours. This is what this space is for.
It's like where you start, right? you could be like a 25-cent XRP and above. I'm sorry, I couldn't 25-cent Corium and above, or Pulsara. There's so much news and action happening within the space, and the team is delivering as promised. So it's exciting times, and I just want to probably kick it off with Pulsara, the new DAX that's coming to the ecosystem in next month, in a few weeks. Airdrop. If you guys want to start there.
Yeah, well, interesting stat. There's like less than 1,500 wallets on Corium with 10,000 or more Corium. Price is surging dramatically. There's going to be some pressure moving forward, I think, for anybody that wants to participate, because the crazy thing is, at this point, those 1,500 or less are divvying up 380 million of the 400 million tokens being airdropped. So you divide that number, that's a significant amount of tokens for what looks to be a very powerful and promising project getting distributed to Corium holders of 10K or more. So I suspect there's going to be a lot of people that might have 8, 9, 75, maybe even 5,000 Corium are going to say like, hey, I need some more Corium. So there's only 1,500 in that position. There's a lot of wallets below that 10K mark. So it should be interesting.
For sure, and the way they do the airdrop, I think it's smart, because it reduces the dumping. They're going to make sure that when you do get the tokens in the first airdrop after the snapshot, going forward, the second snapshot, if you do get rid of more than 10% of your holdings, you'll be disqualified from the next airdrop coming up and going forward. So it is, I like what the team did there with that, because it protects the project, it protects the interest, and us too as holders. So we get to benefit in different ways just by participating. And we went through a rough bear market. Even though the project is new, under a year old, we did definitely weather some storms, with even FUD and a lot of things against what people were seeing from the outside looking in. But we believed and we persevered, and it's good to see the turnaround happening in the momentum in the community, the sentiment, the everything. And I personally look forward to what Pulsara and the projects that are getting ready to roll out is going to bring to our experience as Web3 pioneers, as investors, as project builders, early people in the space. I think that's what's going to bring that interoperability, bringing the IBC to the XRP to the Quorum. It's like bringing worlds together, and that's what we need in a time like this. And as you see out there in the news on the macro spectrum, there's a lot happening with delistings, and there's a lot happening. So I do appreciate and welcome the rollout of what is upon us right now. And congrats to all you Corium believers, and to the team. It's Corium. Great job.
Go ahead, Devon.
Yeah, the more you study Corium, the more you just end up loving it and growing in it. I mean, man, the stuff that I read on Corium every single day is just mind blowing. But I haven't gotten a chance to dive deep on Pulsara. So has there been any information that has come out on it outside of the airdrop? Like I would actually like to dive deep on what it is that they're trying to accomplish.
Well, Pulsara, they do have a website up, pulsara.io, where they have information of questions you frequently asked questions you may have, but we are also learning information as it comes forth. I know that as it leads up to the first snapshot on January 19th, and then the launch, the airdrop on the 26th, and the launch of the platform, I know that we'll have definitely more information, but there's not a lot apart from what we can see on the website, and what information is available there. But definitely, it is causing quite the momentum and the stirring the community, where it is giving us something to look for, not just look forward to, but to know that the time is now. The time has come to where we're going to experience the full potential of what Corium is. Speed, the utility it's going to bring and unleash onto the world, and being one of the only ledgers, or the only ledger that is going to connect all worlds blockchain. It's something to behold. And I think with Pulsara we're going to see some of that, the beginnings of that.
Have we gotten any updates on the two-way bridge yet?
No, I haven't heard anything recent about two-way bridge. I just agree the same thing. Like last night, the Cash Network there made an airdrop announcement too, and the energy that surrounded that. We've got a very, very eager community here, waiting to embrace these technologies. And what Kai was saying about liquidity pools. He's talking about launching in March, so that tells me for sure within the next 8 weeks or so that there's going to be a place to contribute your Corium to a liquidity pool on Corium network, and that's going to be key, because you look at the rush of volume that moved over the IBC here just recently. Like over $1 million has moved over there, and imagine once you can do that on chain, and still qualify for snapshots and stuff like that. It's going to create a lot of velocity in the Corium token, because you can see it. It doesn't take much to get it moving here the last few days.
And at this time, I want to take the privilege. We have Reza in the building, the co-founder, co-creator of Solargenic and Corium. If there's anything you would like to share with the community, sir, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, how are you? I think I joined a little bit late. I just heard like the last 5 minutes, but I really enjoyed it. Now I just want to add something about the two-way bridge. And so basically the two-way bridge, I think, is one of the most interesting projects that we have worked on, because it has been very challenging to create the two-way bridge between the XRP ledger and Corium. And we are going to launch this bridge sometime in February 2024 or late January 2024. And this is the most amazing thing that we've done, because not only XRP can be bridged to Corium, every other token that's issued on the XRP ledger can flow between the two chains in both directions. And I think this is going to create a huge value, both for the XRP ledger and Corium, because Corium is an IBC chain, and so you could essentially see every other IBC token like USDC, USDT, and every other day there's a new chain that integrates with IBC, like Avalanche, like BNB chain and Polygon. All of those are connecting to the IBC, and essentially all those tokens could flow bidirectionally between Corium and the XRP ledger. And so in a sense, we would call that, a side chain of the XRP ledger, because this bridge is a decentralized bridge and it is secured by the relayers. So I think, we're going to release more information about the bridge soon, but that's very exciting for me and the team.
Wow. Well, thanks for joining, Reza. I really appreciate you coming and providing that information. How does this technology you guys are doing, if you can say, how would it differ from like the EVM bridges that many are familiar with?
So basically, any EVM bridge requires a smart contract. So when you bridge a token between two chains that are, they have smart contracts, you can lock tokens in one chain and issue tokens on the other chain. With the XRP ledger, because there isn't like the smart contracts is absent, that creates a huge challenge on how are you going to lock tokens on the XRP ledger and issue the tokens on Corium. So we have created a system where there's a group of relayers, just like how validators work, and these relayers secure the bridging system. So these are trusted relayers, and we're starting with a number of relayers. Anybody can join this consensus where they will be relaying, and they will actually be incentivized by receiving a portion of the fees that are produced by bridging. So we believe it's going to be a profitable thing for relayers to join, and it's basically fully decentralized, and nobody controls any asset on any chain. And I think this is the first time that this has been done. There are amendments on the XRP ledger for side chains, like the EVM chain coming up on as a side chain for the XRP ledger, but I think we're far ahead of what they are doing in terms of how assets, and not only XRP, but any asset, any trust, any issued currency on the XRP ledger can exist on Corium, and vice versa. And with that, you can have access to DeFi for any token on the XRP ledger. So let's say Solo, say OXP, all of these tokens can freely exist on both chains, and through Corium they can access DeFi functionalities and smart contract functionalities, and not only that, smart token functionalities as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And again, I appreciate you being here. I don't want to bombard you with questions that you might not want or have time to answer, but I've heard talk of the ISO 222 MVP that you guys are doing. Fairly interested about it. Don't know a lot about it. Is there anything you can share about that?
So we have the ISO 222 has been something that we've been working on from the very first day that we created Corium, and we have already created the protocol on chain, and we created a simulator that shows how two institutions can transact through the Corium blockchain via ISO 222, and not only just sending messages and receiving messages, but also doing settlements. So that's very important, because this is called an RTGS, that that institutions basically do real-time settlements with one another. And so we've actually brought that directly on Corium. And so while so basically when we're talking about Swift or ISO, it's we're talking about messages. So it's basically a message passing system and a protocol where one institution sends a message to another, and then they basically talk. So it's like a ping pong type of messages, and they reach a consensus whether funds should be sent or not. So Swift currently only handles message sending and receiving. With the Corium ISO 222, we're handling both the message sending, the message passing, as well as the settlement. So the settlement is directly integrated there. We have that simulator ready. Frankly, we're just polishing it. We're making it look nicer, and I think it should be released very soon, so that this tool gives our business development team the right tools to go and sit and talk with financial institutions so that they can participate in our pilot program and try and see how the blockchain helps them. Not only a blockchain, but a public blockchain that has smart tokens helps them, integrate ISO 222. And the way we basically think about it is we want to provide a client for them so that it's they can just replace their existing providers without any changes in their codes and just directly use the Corium chain. So if, let's say, financial institution A happens to be connected to Corium and financial institution B also happens to be connected to Corium, and if they use their existing system, the client will figure out that the other one exists on the chain, and that transaction will take place on the Corium blockchain rather than going through the traditional way, which is the Swift or the ISO or any other way.
Well, it sounds like you're setting the Corium network up for handling a lot of transactions in the future, and that's exciting to hear. There's been so many positive developments here lately. Again, with your time here, if I could ask, this far in, coming up, well, not quite a year in here, where do you, how do you feel about where we're at now with the development and the projects coming on board, and what do you see ahead for us around the corner, Q1, Q2?
So we just released the version 3, which I tweeted a couple of days ago, that introduces a lot of new features like soulbound tokens and groups and a lot of new features on the Corium chain. And I think the next updates will be around smart tokens, as well as, well, obviously I said the bridge and the basically the native DEX on Corium. So those are the things that we'll be focusing on the very beginning of the next year. And hopefully we would be releasing MVPs and things like that on the testnet, and once they are successful, we can roll them out on the mainnet.
And how does XLS30 play into all this? Like, I've seen the images of the liquidity pools on Solargenic, and many believe or see the XRP ledger being a large hub of liquidity with those pools once they become live. How does XLS30 play into everything that Corium's trying to build right now?
So I think that's actually a really good question, because we have been ready for the XLS 30 for quite some time now, waiting for the amendment to pass. But one thing we're really excited about is the connection between the two chains through the bridge. And so that means, if you have the XLS 30 enabled or not, you could still benefit from the, say, DeFi functionalities from, having an XRPL based token. So if you have an XRPL based token, you could bridge it over to Corium or not. You could, easily do the AMM through Solargenic and still benefit from the, the market making and things like that.
Yeah, interesting, because the AMM on the XRPL, it's going to have its unique features for the liquidity providers, like with the auctioning process. Is that something that Corium's looking at incorporating into the on-chain DEX there, or apples and oranges?
Well, the on-chain DEX is going to be a traditional order book style DEX. And the reason that we're rolling that out is because, when you're working with an AMM DEX, you have to provide a liquidity for, both base and a pair on any market. So let's say if you have, just as an example, tokenized gold, versus USD on any AMM system, you would have to provide, liquidity for both. So you basically create markets that you have to provide liquidity on both sides. With a traditional order book, on the other hand, which what XRP Ledger currently has, you can only provide one side. And that's very important, because you could technically say, you produce a smart token and you just want to put it in the market for somebody to buy without providing the other. Well, you don't even know what the other person's going to be, creating the second market for. So you might have a tokenized gold and you're just going to create a pair, sell that tokenized gold for USDC. And you don't even have to provide the USDC to create a whole AMM market for that. So I think there's a lot of value on a traditional order book type of DEX. And that's why you basically see all the centralized exchanges still sticking to, the order book style. And I believe, while AMM is very important to provide liquidity for major tokens and main tokens on the chain, the traditional order book style DEX is super important for Corium, because smart tokens need to be traded in that manner. So let's say you have 10,000 smart tokens on the Corium chain. You can't really have 10,000 pools as an AMM pools, but you could have 10,000 markets where each one of these tokens are being traded at.
Wow. Okay. Well, I could ask you questions all day long. I'm very surprised and thankful you stopped by. I'm going to pass it on to anybody else that wants to ask a quick question here with the time that you allow us. But thanks again.
I think Dev, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, yes. I'm new to the Corium community. Been here for studying about it. I like what I'm reading a lot, and I'm actually getting ready to run a validator node. So I wanted to ask you a question as a co-creator of Corium. What is one of the aspects of Corium that you feel like doesn't get enough recognition and deserves to be talked about a lot more?
Well, I think it's very simple for me. It's smart tokens.
What about smart tokens? What about smart tokens you feel like doesn't get enough recognition?
Well, in my opinion, smart tokens exist because of one reason. And, we've had that in mind from the very first day we created Corium. And, frankly, I think the XRP Ledger already has something similar. Like, when you work with the XRP Ledger, it's like you work with an API from, let's say a provider. You request for something, you know how much fees you got to pay, and so your transaction is simple. When I say smart tokens, I mean these are tokens that you can interact with in a deterministic way. So, as a, let's say, a financial institution, let's say an enterprise, you know how much fees you're going to be paying upfront. So you can plan ahead and say, I have 4,000 transactions for the next coming days. I know I'm going to be paying this exact fee for these 4,000 transactions. So you don't have to rely on gas fees and the fluctuations in fees and gases. So that's very important. That's why I'm saying it's deterministic, because you know how much gas you have to pay and how much commission you basically have to pay for the validators when you submit a new transaction. And you have this while you have smart contracts, while you have smart functionalities. So with the way we think of tokens are, we think tokens are proofs of ownerships of objects and assets on the chain. So let's say you have a very complicated and a complex asset that, say, it's like an NFT that does things, plays a game, and it has a character, and you can do a lot of things with it. But that has like a deed to it, right? So once you have that deed and the proof of ownership, then you can only trade that proof of ownership. You can send the proof of ownership to someone else. So you can send that title deed to someone else without actually sending the full object, which is going to cost you. So these objects, like FTs, fungible tokens, and NFTs, exist on the chain while users hold ownerships of that. So they trade the ownerships of these objects. And we know the complexity of trading these stuff, because an ownership changing hands with one account to the other account only requires a specific complexity, where as you would if you were to transfer the whole object, you don't know like how much interaction with that object is going to cost you. So if you were to run, if you were to have like a smart contract like an ERC20 or CW20, if you wanted to transfer that token to somebody else, you have to um, basically invoke a function within that contract that will transfer that token. So when you invoke it, the whole chain doesn't know what you're doing unless they execute it. So you're ending up with how you're paying fees like Ethereum or CW20. So you just have to provide a gas fee and a gas price, and so the system will calculate, and whatever that costs you, you will pay that. But we're not doing that. We're just transferring those ownerships. We're just, you're just trading those ownerships. And that's why we call the Corium blockchain deterministic.
NTO, you had a question?
Hi, guys. Great space, Chris. Thank you for always doing that here. Reza, pleasure to meet you, sir. Been in this space since, not space, but with Corium since day one. Always loved the idea of what you were doing here. Question I have for you, sir, is how confident do we feel here in regards to these bridges that we're building? It's my understanding that the bridges are the ones that get hacked all the time by these notorious hackers. How safe do you think these bridges are here? Would be a concern of mine here. I mean, I've been in since day one here, but still a newbie when it comes to crypto. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for the question. I think it's a very good question because it's very difficult to answer, the confidence about security of something. I'm pretty sure every system that's been hacked, the founders and the developers were confident. But, there are always things that you would, not see beforehand. But the way we have developed it, I think it's important to take note that we're experts on the XRP ledger and we're experts on Corium because we built Corium and we have been building on the XRP ledger for the past 4.5 years. So we know exactly how each chain works. And, by deploying our knowledge on the bridge about how we should secure it, I think I'm very confident. I'm really proud of what our developers have done, because the bridging is going to be secured via relayers. So we're going to be releasing the bridge on a couple of different phases. The first phase is, the first phase has less relayers than the second phase. So we're going to be rolling out new phases every time where more participants are going to secure the bridge every time we release a new version. And obviously we're going to have the bridge audited by a proper auditing firm. I can't say the name and all that stuff because that has not been announced yet. But once they audited the bridge, and I think through the first release of the Corium bridge that you have seen through Sologenic, we're going to be deploying something that's very similar, but it's being secured by a number of different relayers.
Yeah, great questions. Reza, being that you just said like the XRP ledger intimately, we have no doubt. What key features that the XRP ledger's famous for, known for, did you guys embrace and incorporate into building Corium?
I think the deterministic gas fee is one thing for sure. The order book style DEX is another thing. The auto bridging, which the XRP ledger has, we will have that on Corium. So that is when you have, a market well, let's say a couple of different markets, and when you want to buy or sell something, the chain will choose the best market for liquidity and will give you the best prices. So if a market is illiquid, it'll try the more liquid markets and will give you the best execution prices. So that's also something that we have learned from the XRP ledger for sure. And obviously we have avoided things that we don't like about the XRP ledger, like the concept of trust lines and all that stuff. We think that makes it a little bit complicated. While it's important on the XRP ledger ecosystem, we have on the Corium side, on our smart tokens, we have created similar ways to simulate trust lines with different features like whitelisting, blacklisting, and all that stuff to make sure that anybody who wants to produce tokens that should be compliant with the regulation, they can still do it while using Corium with no trust lines.
Brian, I see you have your hand up.
Thanks, Articulate. Hey, Reza, thanks for stopping by. Super pleasure. Super excited about everything you're building from day one, especially the smart token functionality. Do you see that being integrated with the Solo in the tokenization, of the stock exchange, for example? Do you see that the smart token functionality being built into the, let's say, fractionalizing and working hand in hand with Solo, or are they going to be totally independent?
No, absolutely. I think I see that for sure.
Could you elaborate a little bit, or is it top alpha at this point?
No, I think, smart contract functionality is definitely important for any tokenized assets, especially when you have like more complex logic for different types of assets like, dividends and things like that. But, obviously Sologenic remains on the XRP ledger. So any token that's issued on Sologenic will be on the XRP ledger, for its tokenization of securities and things like that. But again, we are providing ways because, like I mentioned, the bridge provides functionality for any token, any tokenized asset to live on both chains at the same time. So let's say if you have a tokenized Tesla, while you can trade it on Sologenic on the XRPL DEX, you could bring it over to Corium and lend it to somebody and just get yields.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend.
Wow. Yeah, I see Kappa came up for speak. Welcome.
Thank you for doing this, Quarium Concept, and hello, Quarium family. Hope you guys are doing well. And Reza, thanks for your time as always. When you talk, it's everyone gathers. So thank you for that. Is Quarium working on any off ramps?
No, we never directly work on off ramps or on ramps, but we rather partner up with companies that are reputable to do that.
Thank you.
Hi, yeah, I have one last question that I wanted to ask Reza. I see that Corium and Sologenic are having these CBDC platforms. Is Corium currently working or testing with any CBDCs? If you can answer that.
So yes, we are testing the CBDCs as a use case of smart tokens. We're not deploying CBDCs for any major user, but we are studying it very carefully and trying to make sure that our smart token is very much capable of handling CBDC functionalities.
So are you saying that you're testing right now with a central bank for their CBDC? Or is this more
So
like...
when we build smart tokens, we basically look at every possible scenario of what different things could do, like stablecoins, CBDCs, tokenized securities. So basically, we have all these types of tokens where we look at and we see that there are different behaviors, and we try to implement those things directly on the smart tokens. And so the next version of smart tokens are going to be the extensions of smart tokens. With the extensions, you can basically program the smart tokens, with more exotic features than that are directly provided by the chain.
So we know that central banks want to have that privacy layer. With the smart tokens, will they be able to have that kind of privacy so that their transactions are not public?
That's actually a really good question, and we are working on. I think we've never talked about this on public, but this is something that we're working on. We're hopeful that this comes very soon next year. Is we are rolling out basically ZK rollups that would create private side chains to Corium where information would remain private. So that is essential for ISO 222 implementation of Corium, where two institutions could basically roll up one specific direct channel or chain that would interact directly with Corium, and their information would remain private. And that basically, their transaction is secured by a public chain like Corium and remains private. But they have also the option just directly to use the public chain. So we are working on that.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And I wasn't sure if you answered. I didn't really hear because I kind of lagged. I don't know if you can answer, but are you guys currently partnering with any central banks right now to test the Corium blockchain?
So no, we are not partnering with a specific party to roll out their CBDC program, but that is obviously an intention of ours. And I think, with the ISO 222 standard platform that we have created, and I just said that we're going to be rolling out that very soon, that gives our team power to basically show how, Corium chain handles things, in a compliant way, and that makes us be more capable in front of those clients. That could be countries, or most likely countries, and those who would like to try CBDCs.
Thank you. I appreciate those answers.
So Reza, if possible, like for what you're doing with ISO, what would be a comparable layer one that's trying to solve the same problem, or that you could compare the solution that you're providing ISO that maybe somebody else is working on that we can relate to?
We don't think any other chain is working on exactly what we were doing with the ISO 222. When we started implementing ISO 222, we did an extensive research on how other chains are doing it, the ones that are like, saying that they are, but we couldn't really find anything. And, we think that is basically just maybe research within these chains. So I think we are in a sense pioneers of implementing that into Corium.
Well, that's amazing. I've heard you reference that a few times that way, and you guys have been doing a lot of work with the hackathons and the conventions. I've seen people come to my channel and part of the community from Cosmos, a big influx from the Cosmos ecosystem, but also from the Ethereum system. They always seem to say the same thing, or have the same level of excitement once they do learn about Corium. Are you pleased with the level of adoption from developers from other chains?
No, we are, and I think we're just at the very early stage. I think we're going to see a lot of new partnerships, new new developers building on Corium. We've seen that over the past couple of weeks and couple of months. Every day, developers choose to build on Corium, and that's very, very important for us. We want to provide the infrastructure for developers to build their next project on Corium. We've been putting a lot of efforts on that. We have for example, in our BD team, we have a specific team that directly works with the universities, and they basically try to talk with different people at different students, different groups, to try and get projects at a very early stage on Corium. And we will try to do that, and we'll try to basically expand that thing.
Well, that's great. I'll use my last question again. I really appreciate you stopping by, so I don't want to anchor you down longer than you hope to stay. I'll use my last question with Corium's first birthday coming up. Are we planning a big birthday party? It seems like we'll have lots to celebrate by then.
I'm not sure if like a birthday party would be like a physical party like we did with Cornova. Well, Cornova was a very important event for us because we all got together. We got to know the early adopters of the chain, and many of the people who run validators were at that event, and I got the pleasure to meet these talented people. Even Kai from the Onyx RP, I've met him for the first time at Cornova, and he's very talented. And it's a pleasure to see, his team is building on Corium now. And I don't think we have a very specific party for the birthday, but this year, the next year, actually, we're going to be participating at pretty much every major event. So we have a very busy very busy event schedule for 2024.
Well, I've certainly noticed the. Sorry to cut you off there. I've certainly noticed the ramping up of the marketing, and not just marketing, but the educational content coming out from the team, the dev workshops. That's just amazing. Like I'm not a dev. I don't ever plan to be, but it's still, I can at least sit through it and listen and just learn more about what's going on with this blockchain, and I really appreciate the tools that are rolling out for the community. It's very helpful for us.
Thank you so much. I think we should thank our developers and those who are in charge of those workshops. And I believe they do an amazing job. And, I would like to take the chance to say kudos to all of our developers. I've never worked with more talented people in my life that now I'm working with people who are developing Corium.
Yeah, shout out to the team and all those who are even on the call right now who took the time to be here. I know you mentioned, Reza, this is my last question about being at every major event. I'm going to be also a speaker at NFT NYC. Are you guys going to be having a presence at events like those?
Well, I don't have the events calendar myself, but we have a team that basically tries to go on to to these major events. I think my answer to you is I don't know.
No worries. Antia, go ahead.
One quick question, last question. All this good news and stuff that's happening on Corium and everything, we're so grateful and everything for that. So thank you, Reza. Your thoughts on how our other little baby project is coming along here, our Sologenic that we also are in love with.
So are you asking about the projects that are building on Corium?
No, I'm talking about how Sologenic is progressing.
So basically, Sologenic is committed to its vision, and I think the other day I was basically speaking with someone, and they asked me, "Can you describe your daily schedule?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I work like 16 hours a day. That 8 hours goes to Sologenic, 8 hours goes to Corium, and during those 8 hours, basically I strategize on how we're going to be changing and building the technology for the tokenization parts. And I know the team is very busy trying to bring that to life. We have been very much progressing on the legal parts because that's been the most challenging for Sologenic. And we're hoping that very soon, hopefully, we've always been saying soon because it's very difficult to predict the outcome of things like getting licenses and things like that. But this time, we're not directly getting the license that we're going to be launching, but we're going after, we have, I don't know if I should basically, I don't know if this has been said or not, but these are companies that we are in the progress of acquiring that have the appropriate licenses where we can launch our tokenized securities platform with Sologenic. And with the progress of Corium, and I just answered this question, I think it does make sense that while Sologenic is committed to what it has, the vision for Sologenic is, tokenize securities on the XRP ledger, but at the same time, these tokenized securities can have DeFi functionalities of any type through Corium, and I think the combination of Corium and Sologenic are amazing, and that's exactly what we thought a couple of years ago, and that's why we built Corium.
That's awesome. Thank you, sir.
Camel?
You got a community that's really starting to build here, so it's really great to see this thing go here. And again, Chris, awesome job here. I mean, people you got coming into your spaces now here compared to when you first started. So great job. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Camel, you have something to say?
Yeah, please. Welcome, Reza Bashash. It's great to see you today here. And I got two questions, actually. The first question is, are you targeting the top 10? And the second question, is Corium quantum resistant? Thank you.
Great. Thanks for your questions. Well, I would never say, well, when we talk about top 10, that usually means, are we aiming to be at the top 10 of tokens with the largest market caps? Obviously, regarding prices, we would never know what prices will happen, like what prices will Choreo or Sologenic will have in the future, because that's very complicated, and we would never put financial advice directly on that. But obviously, our intention is to make both Corium and Sologenic more, successful, more, will make it more available towards mainstream. So I think hopefully by that, more people will adopt it, more people will transact with it, and that could result on the token to be used more, and hopefully that will result the token demand to go up. But we're not sure, never sure. We've never been sure, so we don't know that. To the second question, I think the quantum resistant thing, that's a question that usually people ask about every other chain, every chain that has a consensus and a way to, cryptographically, basically, handle the transactions. And I think we are not at the quantum computing age yet, and that wouldn't happen overnight. So while that is progressing, every algorithm that is cryptographically, you know, handling things are also progressing. So it's not like that, the current state of the blockchain is going to remain the same, and quantum computers are going to be coming up tomorrow, and we haven't catched up yet. So as you see, every chain like Corium or the XRP Ledger or every other chain basically has upgrades to the chain where, you keep up with the current technology. So the more advanced processing gets, the more advanced the algorithm gets, and, basically put that for upgrades through voting and so on. And I think if somebody has a quantum computer that could crack different addresses, different wallets. I think would I don't even know if that exists today, but I think at the same time, developers and those who work at the industry also have capacity and capability to counter react to those computation powers. So it's not one thing that is one-sided, that only the computing power gets better and better. I think also both sides, the technology, as the technology gets better, the processing gets better. Also, the algorithms that are securing the chain also getting better and better.
Reza, speaking to that, I know you have a strong background and passion for AI. Is AI on Corium, is Corium enabling you to pursue some AI technologies using the platform, or do we have AI technologies that you think are interested in Corium for how you guys are building it?
So, in my opinion, blockchain and AI are completely two different worlds, right? So, you have the blockchain for its obvious reasons, for transparency, for transactions and things like that. The AI is, on the other hand, is a completely different thing. It's a different world. You have machine learning, you have all those stuff in AI, where the only connection between AI and blockchain I see is the incentivization of different AI agents in the future. So let's say that you have ChatGPT, but in the next 10 years you have 1,000 other systems out there. So you can't really be subscribing to every one of those systems, pay your with your credit card, get a subscription. And I believe I would call them agents, basically work in a way that they would transact in crypto. So you would have your own machine that's trained to work with you. So right now, all the AI systems are trained to work. They are trained with the information available on the internet, and they serve you. But I think in the very soon future, these AI machines will also be trained to you. They will learn your preferences. They will learn your routines, and they will do things on your behalf. So let's say they will do the usual stuff that you do right now. They'll take care of it, and to compensate different services they use, they would probably have to use crypto as a method of incentivization and payments. And that's where I see that gets very important for these AI agents to transact with that.
Oh, I appreciate that distinction. I promised that was my last question a few questions ago, so I really appreciate your time here. If you want to take more questions, you're obviously more than welcome to. But again, very grateful for you coming by. We're trying to provide a place here for the community to gather and just gather resources and knowledge and share what's going on. We have a lot of bright minds in our space, and I appreciate you coming by to share the knowledge that you have
No, I
today.
thank you so much. I appreciate the community for the support. It's very important for us to build things while we have the support from the community, and it just gives us a lot of energy and makes us move forward. And I again thank you for the questions. All the questions were really good. And I would like to give this opportunity for other speakers to basically talk. I see Pulsara on the group. I see Corium. I see other people from the Corium team. L1 is here. So let's see if anybody else from the team or the projects we're building on Corium would like to take the mic.
One last quick question. Could you give us any updates on the Corium? The Sologenic cards.
The solo cards?
Yes.
Solo cards that has so we have the solo cards are one of the most interesting things on the whole project that I was involved from the very first day. We were on the verge of launching the solo cards maybe 4 times, and every time we had a pushback from the card providers. And every time we follow up, we know, like, we try to see what happens with it, and like yes, it's there. We're trying to get it done. It's there. It's coming up. So I don't want to give promises to how it's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen, but as I have also been hearing from the team, it's coming up, and we have a new provider, hopefully, so it should be happening soon. I think the best team for that is our BD teams, like Fabio's team. So hopefully they have a better answer for that. But from what I've been hearing is that has been coming up for quite some time as well.
Well, very good. Appreciate it again, Reza. Thank you very much. Of course, any of the Corium team, L1, Corium Count, you're welcome to come up and speak.
Yep.
You can see there's a lot of questions from the community here, and it just provides value. I see Pulsara is here too. So you certainly created quite a buzz in the community here lately. Obviously, more than welcome to come up and say something now too.
Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, it's been quite a hit, like since the announcement on Thursday, everything's been doing all right. I really want to thank the community. Thank you for inviting me to be part of the of this space right now. But I really want to thank the community for the warm welcome that they have given Pulsara. It's we've been working in the day and night like a lot to make this happen, and well, let's just see how we're gonna go ahead. But thank you very much to the whole community, guys.
I just want to say real quickly, what the team in general, Corium, rolling out Pulsara, I see that as I was saying earlier, as the next evolution, the next iteration in where technology in general, especially blockchain and the capabilities it can bring to the world in general. And, what Pulsera is about to do, I believe it's something monumental, something revolutionary. And, I'm happy to be a member of the community, a part of this rollout, and, looking forward to utilizing the platform, looking forward to making the best of what you guys are going to bring to the table. And I just want to say that I'm not let down in any way. I know the team has been quiet for a couple of months, but rolling out all these technologies and these platforms and the projects that are coming on board, I'm definitely pleased as an investor and as a builder in the space. So welcome aboard Pulsara. Looking forward to utilizing the technology, being a part of the airdrop and everything, man. Thank you guys for all that you're doing.
Really thank you for your words. Like working on Corium, like on top of the Corium blockchain has been a delight. It's really easy, really intuitive to do the well, what you want to do. It's like you just said like, okay, I want to do this. Corium has already all those functionalities, capabilities to allow you to build what you are thinking, right? I hope more the ecosystem keeps growing, more developers join Corium, build on Corium, because I think it's quite a good thing, right? But yeah, once again, really thank you to the whole community and Corium as well. They've been a big part of this with all their help, but we're building this. The developers at Corium also were like always on top, like answering questions, in a support kind of way, and also like a big shout out to Cornes, the venture capitalist that made this happen, right? So well, let's go to the moon, guys.
Nice. I had to free up some spots there to bring up some speakers there. L1 has joined us. Welcome. I threw out Mike to Corium account too.
Hey, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. How is everyone doing?
really good. So very happy you joined us today. I'd love to ask some questions of you too. You've been out on the circuit, doing the rounds, drumming up support and developers for the ecosystem. I'd love to hear a report from you if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot the question.
Yeah, I was just like I said earlier with Reza that I know just with my channel and the community, seeing a lot of community members come from Cosmos ecosystem and some from Ethereum even that are taking an interest in my channel and the content that I put out. And I was just wondering the work that you guys are putting out with the hackathons, tours, and stuff like that. It seems to be paying off. Is that, in your opinion, correct?
Yeah, I think as you said, like I think it's really starting like to pay off, and it's only the beginning. So I mean, we're really like trying to play on different boards here, but like yeah, there is the physical events or the hackathons. So it's a big part of it. It's super important. Being able like to see, because when you're in real life, you really see different. It's a different synergy. It's a different like energy to say. So it's really great to be here, like to see developer building in real time, to being able like to help them and to see how they feel about the technology that the developer team is building is building. So we're able like to bring really valuable insight on their with their feedback. And at the same time, there is the project that we're building for the community. So for example, last week we presented a playground during a workshop. That was Alex doing a presentation on that part. And yeah, all of those tools, they really help here like to help the community to engage with the chain, to bring more developer to the chain, to make the chain more friendly. So yeah, it's also a big part of what we do.
Yeah, it's great. It's like I said, I'm starting to see a lot of interest in Corium, and the thing that excites me is, especially in the Cosmos ecosystem, I spent a lot of time over there just trying to learn from what's going on, just because it's going to be such a integral part of our project here. The people that I talk to that look into Corium as a technology, them obviously being knowledgeable on IBC and the Cosmosm component of it already, they seem to be very excited what Corium's doing. Are you getting that feedback when you're talking to these developers?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is a reason why you see like a lot of developer from other Cosmos chain that come to build into Corium. So for example, you have Whelp, so the DEX that Milan and Jakob are building right now on Corium. So that is they were first building on Juno, now they're building on Corium, and those are like really experienced developers. So it's really great to have them building on the chain, and I really think there is a reason why they choose Corium as a platform for their new project.
Well, thank you for that. Devon, you have a question there for Owen?
Yes. I didn't want to change subject. Anybody else want to come up and introduce themselves first? No? Okay, I wanted to ask one question, Pulsara. What is the main objective for what it is that you guys are trying to accomplish?
Well, first of all, thank you for your question. What we want to create is just like a decentralized exchange. Basically, that's the first product, right? The first main product of Pulsara, the DAX, the autonomous exchange, where people will be able just to propose pools, vote into the pools, and that way the community will be more reassured that the pools that exist in the DAX are well, community approved, right? It's not just me deciding to put this because I like this token, but well, you know how many things happen on that part, right? But if it's propose, the community is like, okay, I like this token, or someone comments, you know what, this token is not good, is because of this reason, because of this other reason, whatever, then the community will know that they are basically curated for themselves, right? Something else that we want to build with this is also as much as we can a one-stop core in place, right? Oh, you want to issue a token, Pulsara. You want to manage your token that you issue, whitelisting, freezing, making use of all the capabilities of the smart tokens in Corium, Pulsara. You want to trade, Pulsara. You want to add liquidity, Pulsara. That is one of the mission of Pulsara to be that one-stop Corium, one-stop all Corium, right?
It reminds me of how Sologenic is all, you know, um, one-stop shop for the XRP ledger. I think Pulsar is one-stop shop for Corium, providing all the Corium functionalities to the masses.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the goal, of course. As the Corium blockchain grows with more tools like the bridge, or smart, more extensions of other things. And other features that the core, like the native decks that is coming on and all of that stuff, um, Pulsara will aim to implement all of that, right? So the communities always have a place to go and make use of all the potential that Corium has. So that's the main goal of Pulsara.
Okay, so when using the DAX, I'm assuming that the Sarah token would be the token that is used for the gas fees, correct?
Well, we're talking about here that it's on the Corium, right? So the gas fees, the transaction fees are paid in Corium, right? The token of the chain. Pulsara, the token of the Pulsar ecosystem, will be used. Well, you can use it to provide liquidity to the pools. You can stake. You will be able to stake on the DAX, on the DAO based exchange, basically. So you can have a say on all those proposals, as well as receive rewards, right? You will be able to um, to use Sarah in all of these products of Pulsara, right? At the end of the day, the gas fees and the transactions are happening on the Corium blockchain, therefore they have to be paid on Corium. But yeah, for example, one way that you can use Sarah as well is to create a proposal on the DAX, right? We added this little fee of Sarah because we want to avoid, like just spam proposals from people, just like, always that the proposals that are okay, yeah, it's gonna sound weird, but the proposals that are proposed, that they make sense, that they know people that okay, if they paid for the fees because they are confident about this proposal, because it's a serious proposal, right? That's another example of the use case of Pulsar.
That's great. And so for the people that may not know, because you're just starting to see it more and more here lately, the term DAX compared to DEX. I'm assuming that's the DAO part of it. What differentiates the two?
Well, in this case, on a DEX, like for example, let's use Sologenic DEX. The Sologenic DEX, well, basically the community has no say over what type of markets are gonna be there, right? In the case of the Sologenic DEX, of course, it's an interface for the XRPL, and in the XRPL, basically every market already exists by default, basically, right? But in the case of of other decks as well, it's the decks that decides what pools are there, right? Like what's gonna happen with the fees. What is well, basically a centralized decks, if we wanna call it like that. There's a company behind it, right? Deciding all of these. Hey, we're going to create a new pool. We're gonna do this with the fees. We're gonna do that, and they decide that. Now, here in the DAX, using this term, that decentralized autonomous exchange, basically the community will decide all of that. Oh, you know what? You can come to Pulsara DAX and say, like, I want to create a pool of Solo and Core, as an example, because you made use of the bridge that Corium is taken out soon, and then you send it to Corium. Now you have Solo on Corium. You want to create a pool on Solo Core. You propose it. After a few days of voting, the community starts saying yes. Once it passes, the smart contract is executed and the pool is automatically created. Therefore, people can start adding liquidity to it. Right? That is one thing. Now, there is another section there's another part of Pulsara that is called basically the vesting part. Is where there's gonna be that you can see on the white paper, and you will be able to see in the token allocation part, is that a percentage of the initial supply of Pulsara is gonna go to this contract, right? Which is gonna be to provide the rewards for the liquidity providers, right? As long as you have liquidity, you will be block by block receiving a certain amount of rewards. For example, let's say that we have 10 pairs in the DAX, right? Like after a few weeks of launching, we have 10 pairs. The community, well, at the beginning, there's going to be a certain amount of percentage that each one of those pairs is going to get from those rewards, right? Like, let's say out of those 10 pairs, only 5 pools get rewards. Let's say that, like 20%, each one of them. Well, the community can arrive, and someone says, like, you know what, maybe we should split it into the 10 pools, and they make the proposal to change those rewards. So instead of 5 pools getting 20% rewards each, now they decided to do the 10 pools getting 10% each. Or you know what, maybe the community decides, you know what, we only want the pool of Sarah Core to receive rewards, so the community can decide to put that 100% there, you know. What I'm saying about this, of course, some ideas are like quite crazy there, but what I'm saying is that the community has the power, right, to create a new pool, to even delete a pool. So you know what? Let's say this token became the centerpiece of a really um, mishaps and whatever you want, and then the community, you know, we don't want this pool anymore here in the DAX. We're gonna create a proposal to take it down, like, you know, like all of these kind of things. That's why it makes it a DAX, right? That the community has a power over what happens in there, and not the company itself, not me. That's what I'm saying. Of course, I will always propose and vote in favor of the ecosystem, in favor of Pulsara, and the best for it, that it aligns to it. But at the end of the day, the community has the power.
And I think
And
that's why
so,
the airdrop plays a very big part, because you're essentially picking the existing Corium participants to decide for the future and the operation of Pulsar. That's very important. So essentially, Corium holders will be deciding how the DAX will operate.
Exactly. Like that's the main goal of this, and that's why the new term, right? Because everything, as I mentioned, there's gonna be a whole section where you can create proposals, change rewards, delete a pool, create a pool. Even we have a section where we can decide what to do with the treasury, right? It's like the community is like, you know, guys, we have let's think big right now. We have the possibility to list on Binance, right, Sarah? But we need to pay for the listing fee or whatever. So the community, we can propose for the community to decide to get the listing fee value from the treasury of the DAX, right? So okay, so the community is paying for that listing fee. Right, that's a big thing where we would like to get, right. Maybe the community decides to pay the listing fee for another exchange to pay instead. The community decides to use the treasury of the DAX to provide liquidity to another pool, you know, like a bunch of stuff. Basically, the sky is the limit. Your imagination is the limit on what you can do about this DAX, all DAO-based exchange where everything can be decided by the
and
community.
do you see the ability for in a decentralized way for a project to incentivize a pool, then, like to put out a proposal with the built-in incentivization to add to that pool?
You mean like a custom thing on the pair, on the specific pool?
Right. Like I know recently, like with Corium going over onto Osmosis or for 50 days, the teams incentivize the pools. Is there going to be projects that are maybe wanting to launch a pool that have a way to propose that incentivization into the proposal?
Well, I guess they can put like something like in the description, and they say, "Do this," and then externally we can give you some incentives to keep doing, like that. But directly into the pool, like in the code, basically to, hey, if someone does this, immediately do that. I guess they can. The community can vote in order to have this new pool getting these incentives to change to shift the rewards a little bit on its favor. Yeah, I guess that is something that could happen, but inherently directly on in the pool, no, it's not something that is possible at launch, but definitely something that we could look into it and add those capabilities later on.
Yeah, like I guess maybe what I was getting at, that you would be able to offer different rewards. Like, is the liquidity provider reward always going to be the Sarah token, or is there going to be a way for a token to say you get Sarah token and this token as an incentive?
No, the liquidity reward is always going to be Sarah. That's what I mentioned. It comes from the vesting rewards part, so it's always going to be Sarah.
Very good, very good. Thank you.
Um,
Brought up a couple more speakers there. Just jump in if you have an opportunity.
Yeah, so you mentioned, I don't know if it was Reza who mentioned that Pulsara will be like the everything place just like Sologenic is for the XRPL. Does Pulsara plan on going into tokenization in the future?
Well, it's something that can definitely be considered, but in our main roadmap, we are not right now thinking about that section.
Nella, you have a question?
Yes, greetings, guys. It's been a pleasure meeting a lot of you in the panel. Reza, thank you for giving us the time and staying this long. The Sand Lounge salutes you. We're wondering if you're going to be in February for the event. We know Corium is sponsoring, but that's one of the questions just to tag along. But my main question is bids coming on Corium and Whelp coming to Corium or merging to certain aspect. Is this something that is recommended by the Corium team to other developers to actually onboard? Is this something that is going to be user friendly that I can help my grandma? Is this what Pulsara is actually reaching? We don't have an on ramp for Corium. So what is the DAX going to do for new users? So it's kind of along the conversation of everything that has been going on in the chat. But yeah.
From what I've seen, with Pulsara, I've played with their test environment, and I can say it's very user friendly, and I really enjoyed playing with it. I've also had the chance to play with Whelp, and it is also friendly. And with bids, I think the team has been engaged, and they are also making something super nice. So I would say all the projects that are building on Corium, we're putting so much time and efforts to make sure that these projects are user friendly and also successful. So I'm not sure, if your, friends and family could, work with them, but I would say, perhaps yes. I think maybe the whole industry is a little bit, difficult for a lot of people to use because you have the self custody, and especially with Corium, we're really much focusing on self custody, staking and all that stuff. So that poses a bit of a challenge for every single user. I've just been reading the another chat today that somebody had an issue with their ledger, and there was a bug on the ledger, and this guy was very knowledgeable and had lost about 29 bitcoins, not doing anything wrong. He wasn't hacked, so it was just like a problem with yeah, there was a bug with the ledger device. So these stuff always happen, and I think that's probably why the mass adoption is kind of slower on the blockchain industry, because it's very challenging to manage custody. But in general, I think Pulsar is doing a really good job with their user interface, and it's one of the best I've seen so far. I can guarantee that.
Reza, I'm glad you mentioned that you were, testing out these platforms. You shared a screenshot recently with the USDC, USDT on IBC, Corium. Do you have any more insight into is that in terms of where the liquidity comes from with that? Do you have any more insight with USDT, USDC, Corium, IBC?
So one thing I was reading was the airdrop for Pulsara. There is a portion that's designated for USDC holders on Corium. So I was trying to test and get some USDC and USDT on the Corium chain, and it was just as easy as 1, 2, 3. It took 20 seconds for me to get some USDC onto Corium chain. And I think Sarah tokens are going to be dropped. Correct me, Pulsara. This is going to be dropped to USDC holders specifically on Corium.
Yes.
And I think one of the main reasons you guys are doing this is for USDC holders to provide the liquidity essentially on Pulsar, right?
Yeah, exactly. All that is on the airdrop guideline explanation. The idea is to promote and incentivize as well, bringing other tokens into the Corium chain, right? USDC being a big stable coin out there in the basically in the industry. Well, we deem it right to say, you know what, let's incentivize to bring USDC, and right off at launch, the possibility to have a pair, right? Like a pair with USDC, right? Core USDC, Sarah USDC, and more, and basically in the future, as more tokens are coming to life on the Corium blockchain, they can right off propose a pair on Pulsara for USDC that is kind of like, well, of course the world right now we base our references on US dollar, right? So having USDC on Corium for all of these other new tokens, incoming tokens, and tokens from other Cosmos chains, and in general from the XRPL, for example, now with Bridge, that would be massive, right? So that's why we say let's do that to incentivize the community to bring it over.
And I think it's quite favorable towards USDC holders. 5% of the whole airdrop belongs to USDC holders, right?
Exactly.
I think those who bring USDC would kind of benefit, because 5% is quite a lot.
Exactly. It's and on top of that, those USDC holders will get the rewards from the Corium holding, right? It's not just like you hold Corium or USDC. It's like if you hold both, well, then you get more Sarah. So yeah, definitely to incentivize everyone to do this as much as they can, and well, to keep growing the ecosystem like that.
I think that's very, very smart way, because essentially Pulsara would be, with the DAGs, you guys will be providing all these pools, and pairing it with a stable coin is an essential part of it. So incentivizing USDC holders on Corium, I think it's a very good strategy. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It's been quite thought about all of that stuff, and that's mainly that, right? And to provide the community with all the possible pairs, so they can to have a proper DAX.
And
Yeah.
you can already bridge USDC to Corium. We did open a channel with Noble recently, so that is possible right now.
Thanks for that info, everyone.
What's going on?
Go ahead.
Welcome.
All I wanted to say was, what a time to be alive. That distributed ledger technology bill, whew, it is heating up. It already passed the committee unanimously.
Well, sounds like good news. Do tell.
Yeah, man, it was like about a week and a half ago. It passed the committee unanimously. So now it's going straight to the Senate. So you already know once it passes the committee, it's go time. Especially with the way the Bank of International Settlements is talking. They together with Ripple in the FX market. Oh my God, they want to do real world stress testing. They said it is time now for real world stress testing in the FX market.
Well, sounds good. A little off topic at the moment, but we'll have plenty of time to jump into that. Appreciate the contribution just the same. I wanted to take the opportunity, see if L1's still here. Yeah, L1's still here. Perfect. I heard the team came up with the term Superledger, and the way you guys broke it down and explained what that represents with the IBC, the XRPL ledger, the ISO 222, how it all ties together, obviously was the inspiration for the name of this podcast. So I just wanted to say thank you, because that gave me, as a content creator and someone who's trying to build community around Corium, a great way to explain what we're doing and the scope of the community, because it's not just the Corium community. It encompasses all of those communities, and I'm seeing that shift where these communities are coming together. So I really wanted to thank you while you're here, and the team for really capturing a great term to explain what's going on with Corium.
The best,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
You guys
Yeah,
are the best, man. You guys are the best. That's why I want to come on here. You guys are the best. The best.
thank
I
you,
know
guys.
what's going on, man.
All right, but yeah, no, you're right. I think it's really, like putting names on things, and I think that this Superledger branding is really what we were looking for. It's super descriptive, super useful, and yeah, the way we describe it's so it's a combination of speed, custom wasm smart contracts, smart token, of course, compliance and interoperability. So yeah, I think it's a great name.
Yeah, captures it really well. And so I hope you guys don't mind. I assume by showing up, you're not protesting with the name. I just wanted to thank you for it, because as soon as I heard it, I was like, it's just genius. And you put out the graphic there to explain it. I think it's important because, like I said, the XRP community is quite large, and a lot of them don't still see and understand what Corium's doing over here. And it's not trying to take anything away from the XRP ledger. In fact, it's only going to make it far more robust and open up a whole lot of possibilities that many are missing. So that's why I was eager to jump on that to try and get that message out there.
Yeah, as you should. And yeah, as Reza said, like it's really like taking what's already available on the XRPL and adding more to that, right? With Corium. So yeah.
Good deal. Well, sorry about the little interruption there, but if anybody else wants to come up and speak, ask questions of Pulsara or L1, appreciate you guys hanging out and giving such great answers for our community.
We have Mirak, Corium spelled backwards. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say thank you for inviting me. Like, I just look at the chat. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hear that. I was just gonna listen into it, and then I just received the invitation to be a speaker. I'm like, okay, sure, let's do this. Let's grab this platform to. I honestly cannot be thankful enough with all the community, with the warm welcome that Pulsara has received. But yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, well, this platform is, and I don't discourage anybody from coming up to speak, but when we have such great guests on and providing great content, you want to keep it relevant for them while they're here and respect their time. for sure. And just so everybody knows, next week, one week a month, we are having just an open forum, just town hall style. So encourage you all to come back next week, and everybody's up. We'll all take a listen to what you got to say. As long as it's respectful, we'll all listen. But today we got some great guests, and some of them came unannounced. So we'd just like to respect their time while they're here and keep things on point for them. Ralphie, I thought I would have had you up here by now.
I'm actually going to get ready to drop down, but I appreciate everybody that came up and answered all of my questions, and I hope everybody has a great start to their week.
Hey, if I could ask you a question before you drop down, do you want to announce anything? Do you want to announce anything with your validator before you go, or
next
do you
Sunday?
want me to come back anytime?
Because I'm doing it with somebody, and he wanted me to wait on everything, so I promised that I'll just wait because he wants to roll out everything in the correct way. But I will definitely be reaching out to you before we launch in Discord.
Right on. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing what you got cooking over there.
Okay, thank you, man. You guys have a good start to your week and a good night.
Thank you.
What's up, Chris? What's up, everybody? Yeah, man, listen, this space was amazing. There's a time to listen and there's a time to speak. This space for me was a time to listen. It was awesome to have all the great speakers up here speaking on Corium and everything that's going on. And then having Pulsara up here as well, which we've recently been looking into and learning about. So it's been awesome, man. I really enjoy listening in instead of being up here and speaking. So amazing space. Yeah, this was great. This was great. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I know myself, I'm going to have to go back and hit the replay on this one myself. I appreciate you coming by. And for those that don't know, Ralphie and Leo, the Flipper Huddle podcast, every Tuesday and Thursday, they provide a lot of great content like this here, week in, week out. So make sure you check that out, because it's important that we get the news out. We got a lot of things going on. Very exciting week in Corium, and there's not many of us out there spreading the word in a clear, concise way, and we need more people like Ralphie and Leo to do that.
I want to say something, Corium concept, before you leave. By Corium, guys. By Corium. By Corium. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for Corium to hit $10 in order to buy it? Go ahead and delegate your bags. Okay, I gotta sleep now because I gotta work very early this morning. Thank you, Corium Concept.
Thanks for coming by, Camel. And for those that didn't catch it, Camel just started his validator on the Corium network, Bruges Corium. So check him out. He's going to need the support from the community just like the rest of us, because he's definitely got our best interests in mind. Marco, why do you got your hand up, Marco? Get up here.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I'm Marco, one of 3 co-founders, members of the Corium Community DAO, and also a creator of the CAF robot. So if you hadn't had a chance to look at it, go to the Corium Community DAO Twitter page. But I just wanted to say the idea behind CAF was to educate the community more about Corium, but in a simplified way. So as Corium grows, CAF grows too. And I hope everyone likes it.
It's awesome, man. I appreciate all the hard work you put into that. It certainly shows.
Marco, could you pin something to the top so it's easier for us to find it?
Yeah, it's pinned to the top. Perfect. You just have to scroll.
NTO, you know the rules, no hands needed here. Jump in.
Just a quick thing. Earlier, you were putting out some stats here regarding the number of wallets of Corium holders and how many wallets are over 10,000. Could you kind of, for the new people that came in here, to show just how early we are into this project, how many people are actually on Corium? That would really help.
Oh, I don't have the total number of wallets fresh on my mind at the moment, but I was looking into, being that the Pulsara token distribution is very heavy on the 10,000 or more Corium wallets. 380 million of the 400 million is going to those wallets. So I thought, well, how many of those are there? And at the moment, there's under 1,500. So you take 380 million divided by 1,500, and it's some pretty impressive numbers. And a pretty impressive portion of the liquidity of the project. But the other cool thing is and they're here. I should probably let them speak to it themselves because I might not do it proper justice. But it's they have a vesting period so that if you sell off your tokens, that you're not going to be entitled to those future airdrops. So it's going to really keep this airdrop nice and stable. And for a new project, that's very important. But for the people that are getting that token, it's also very important because is going to be holding a large part of that distribution.
I was doing the math on that there, Chris, and guys, do the math. It's insane.
Yeah, guys, if I can step in right here, the point of these basically tiers that we put on this airdrop is basically for reward and always incentivize the actual holders, the actual people that believe on the project, right? Like believe on Corium in this case. That's why we put these specific two tiers of above 10K, less than 10K, because we all know there's a lot of airdrop hunters out there, and basically they just get their amounts and then sell off, and that a lot of the times just negatively impacts the project, right? So we came up with this solution, with this idea. So in a way, yeah, the sell off and all that stuff will be in a way delayed by a year, because that's the whole amount of by the span of the airdrop, right? Every 3 months or so, there's gonna be a new snapshot. So yeah, is mainly it's just to keep rewarding the actual holders and the actual believers of the project.
That is so smart. We've learned something from the Corium, because for a whole year here we were getting Corium, and it was just like getting passive income here on a monthly basis. It was absolutely tremendous. So well done there, Pulsara. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the other thing about that too is the liquidity of Corium. Like, you see, to me, what looks like to be a very promising project, and they're offering the incentive, like 380 million of the 400 million to 10,000 Corium or more in your wallet, and then another 10 million of that goes to, as Reza was alluding to, the USDC pool. That's a heck of an opportunity in my eyes, and a lot of people are going to see that and want to maybe up their current holdings of maybe 9,000 or 8,000, 5,000, whatever it is. And we've seen the aggressive price movement of Corium here in the last few days. It's really going to put a lot of pressure on the lack of sellers of Corium right now. So it's really interesting dynamics at the moment.
Yeah, just not everybody go over 10,000. You're gonna want to leave some for us that are at 10,000. Kidding, guys. Get in here while you can.
Hey, I got a question for Pulsara.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I know you talked about the USDC pools with Corium, but do you foresee in the future of having a pool with Corium to staked Corium?
Corium to staked Corium? You mean the X Core?
No, staked Corium. That's to the validators.
Oh, well, that's as long as basically a token exists on the Corium blockchain, and I'm talking about the native tokens, because not the CW20 tokens, like, right? This is the native ones that actually exist on the chain. If a token exists there, anyone can come and propose it. If the community wants it, it's gonna be there. That's what I'm saying. Like the DAX term that it was basically we were trying to get out there is so people know that this DAX is for them, as we have on the top of our homepage, an ecosystem for the people, right? It's for them, so they can decide what to do with the whole thing. So if a token exists on the chain, it can be proposed. The community can look into it and decide yes, no, whatever. and then, well, make it happen or not make it happen, all by the community.
Well, I got you. So I see all the communities here. So I hope we see mainnet Corium with paired with staked Corium. That's all I got.
Well, I think
say so. It will happen.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can participate in the liquidity pools with your staked Corium. Like if you have your Corium delegated to a validator, you can still participate in the pool. Is that correct or incorrect?
Well, I don't think so. It should be. I mean, if Corium and stake Corium is a different, let's call it like quote unquote, they're a different token, then I don't think it doesn't make sense, because when you have a pool, you have two sides, right? You have well, ABC token, DEF token, whatever, and there is a balance on each one of these sides. So if you have Corium staked, right, like, well, your regular Corium, and it's already staked, and then you use that to provide liquidity, what happens when the market moves and then the liquidity on the side of Corium is not enough to keep justifying the stake Corium? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Sorry, I might have misunderstood. I wasn't really expounding on the last question. I guess I didn't explain it right. I was more wondering, is currently there's people concerned that if they're providing liquidity with their Corium somewhere, so currently that's just available on Osmosis, so that's off chain.
Yes.
If there's a snapshot, that wouldn't qualify for the snapshot like you're doing, right?
Oh,
I'm wondering if our Corium's staked to a validator on the Corium network, it still qualifies for a snapshot.
Oh yeah, that definitely does. Like any Corium that exists on Corium chain, on the Corium network, it is eligible for the airdrop, regardless if it's staked, regardless of whatever it is on your wallets, right? As long as it's on Corium mainnet. That is something that a lot of people have been asking lately. Hey, I have my Corium on the XRPL. Like, hey, I have my Corium on the Osmosis pool and all that stuff. Like, it's pretty clear on the airdrop guideline and everything, but yeah, it's only the Corium on the mainnet. On the mainnet is the one that is eligible, regardless of its status, if it's staked or not.
Right, and then to maybe go where Marco was thinking, it would be possible though to have like a USDC IST, like a Cosmos $1 coin pool. So you have two stable coins in a pool.
Yeah, that would be like a stable coin pair where both sides are stable coins. Yeah, that is something that it is possible. As I mentioned, anyone can propose it, and then the community decides. But yeah, a pool for stable coin to stable coin is also possible.
And so the big thing that maybe people have to be aware of when they're providing liquidity is impermanent loss, and that's obviously what the liquidity provider rewards are meant to do, is kind of offset those losses. Is it the tokenomics itself that you see providing value to the Sarah token to offset that, or a business model for the Sarah token to bring that value?
Yeah, well, as you well said, like the liquidity providers, well, they are rewarded for having their tokens in there. We decided to go and provide those liquidities in Sarah, well, to of course keep the Sarah moving, right? Like not just airdrop it, but so people can liquidity, and then it goes back to them and it moves to the other side. Like that's the point, like to keep the token moving around, right? Not just like have it in your wallet hoping for a sudden 100x and then you have a Lambo, right? The main thing is to keep the token moving. Now, about the rewards, yeah, we will. That's another thing. The rate of the rewards can also be decided by the community. That's what I'm saying, that this ecosystem is for the people, because let's say at the beginning we're still crossing the T's and dotting the I's on this initial configuration of the DAX, like reward percentage, reward rate for the liquidity providers, things like that, like the proposal fee to do that. But at the end of the day, once it's out there, the community can come is like, you know what? I don't want one SARA per block. You know, like let's say we set up one SARA. It's being dripped on per block for the liquidity rewards, right? Just one SARA per block, divided, and of course. And then the people can say like, you know what, instead of one, let's make it two, and then double the rewards overnight, right? That's also decided by the community. The proposal fee is like, you know what, I don't want to pay, let's say, 10 saras to create a proposal fee. Let's do 5 saras to create a proposal, right? So all of these types of things, the rewards, the reward rate, the pools, and everything like that, can be decided by the community completely. Like the Pulsara as a company won't have like the final say in this. We will have a say, of course, but by being part of the ecosystem, but we will not have the final say. The community will have it.
And so this is how the DAX is going to roll out that way, like fully autonomous right off the release.
Right off the bat. Right off the bat on January 26th, as you already know the date. As soon as the DAX comes out, immediately, of course, as I mentioned, the Pulsar will set up an initial configuration that we believe is best for this thing. But at the end of the day, as I mentioned, the community can decide that. But yeah, right off the bat, people will be able to start creating proposals to better direct the future of the DAX itself, right? And right off the bat, like there is not gonna be like, hey, the first 3 months we will do whatever we want and then we give it to you. No, it's right off the bat. And well, that's the autonomous part of Pulsara. We also are releasing the token manager, right? As you already probably saw, where you will be able to issue your own token and manage it, use of all the features of the Corium blockchain. This part is not autonomous. It's not like people can vote to issue a token or things like that. This is it's the exchange, the part that is autonomous.
Wow. So, yeah, I forgot to even ask you about that. I'm glad you brought that up. So, with that, when you say you got a token manager, anybody can create a token. Will that be able to utilize all of Corium's features, like the soulbound feature and the clawback, all those things that are available?
Right off the bat, well, you can use all the features that exist on the Corium blockchain, right? Like, I don't know if any of you have tried issuing a token on Corium, but once you do that, right now there is like five features that you can enable in each one of these tokens, right? That is minting, burning, freezing, whitelisting. That are the first one, and the latest feature, IBC. Everyone's familiar with IBC. So you can decide once you issue your token, you can decide what features are going to be enabled on the current blockchains. It's like, you know what, I want my token to always be deflationary, so I will disable the minting feature. And this is not Pulsara say. This is Corium feature, right? We're just providing the interface for that.
Mm-hmm.
As new features the Corium blockchain launches, of course, Pulsar is going to add it so people can keep making use of it on the token manager, right? This talking about the token manager is a fungible token manager, not an NFT manager. Okay.
Yeah, interesting. And so, is that like a low code method too? And it's not decentralized or autonomous, but is it like low code that I could just go on there without a technical background and create a token?
It is no low code. It is no code. You won't need to know coding in order to create your token. You just have a form. You will input the name, the subunit, if you want to call it. You know how in Corium you have core and ucore. You can put your name in it. You can put the initial supply, how many decimals, etc., all the features. Issue it, send the transaction, and boom, it's in your wallet. And then you have it immediately. There's of course the token page where would you able to see the supply, the initial supply plus the current supply, if of course you decided to keep minting or burning your token so it changes. Mint, as I said, whitelisting, freezing, more of those features for enterprises or more like centralized projects that they want to use the blockchain, right? But right off the but well, that's basically what.
And so will it also have like a dashboard to manage that token moving forward? Like if I distribute it and want to do a snapshot, like is that all part of what you're providing for a platform and service?
Those are things definitely that are going to be added in the future. Right now, the how we're launching the token manager, the initial token manager, of course, because the idea of Pulsara is keep growing, is that you will be able to issue your token, and you will be able to manage it in the way of the initial first what's another thing, features of Corium, right? Like as I mentioned, minting, freezing, all of this stuff. You can will go to, hey, you know what? I have a project that requires more like a whitelisting just to allow. And so you go in there, you put the address that you're whitelisting, the amount, and well, you see all the data of the token, right? As we are moving forward, we're gonna have the extension, the soulbound situation of the tokens, etc., to keep growing the ecosystem.
Wow, it's amazing, amazing. I'm glad you're building on Corium. Glad I have met the requirements for the upcoming airdrop. I will certainly be participating in your platform.
That's great to hear. Thank you, and thank you for having me here.
Hey guys, I have a question. When will SARA be listed in CoinGecko?
Well, first of all, as you know, the mainnet upgrade is coming soon through the proposal that you probably saw. So we are waiting to well, for that upgrade, because we've been, of course, developing on DevNet and testnet, right, of the Corium, and those has the latest versions. Well, it's been tested everything, tried everything. So we are already, and we need those upgrades for Pulsara to exist. So we're just waiting for that. Once that it's out there and SARA exists, basically, we can get an issuer address and all that stuff for you guys. That's when we're gonna start submitting the listing applications on CoinGecko, possibly CoinMarketCap as well, and all of these indices where you can keep track of the token as well.
Very good. Just for those that joined late here, it is an open floor at this moment. If you have anything to contribute or any questions to ask, feel free to come on up.
I have a question for somebody who might be able to answer that in the community. The upcoming exchanges for Corium. Does anybody know anything about that, or possible ideas where it could be or when?
I don't know that we got any whens. The closest we got was from bids.com earlier. They're going to have liquidity pools for what they're doing over there. That was by March. Reza, I think, mentioned earlier, somebody alluded to Whelp. We know that they're building and have something coming probably soon, but I don't think there's any dates attributed to any of that.
Well, guys, sorry, I'm just going to take this little space. I just want to say thank you very much to all the community for all your support. I gotta say goodbye right now, so but thank you for having me in your platform. I hope to keep joining this type of spaces where we can discuss about the Corium moving forward, about Pulsara moving forward, and once Pulsara is out there, we definitely will still have these kind of spaces where people can still discuss Pulsara in general as a community all together, make the decisions for the best of the ecosystem and Corium itself. All right. So
no, that's really good. I appreciate you coming by. You're welcome anytime. Like I said, we are meeting weekly, different themes. You can reach out to me to coordinate that. I do have the YouTube channel Corium Concepts, which you're also welcome to utilize to get the message out anytime. And I really appreciate all your contributions today. I have a very excited community about your announcement, and what a treat to have you here to explain a lot of the details there.
Thank you very much, and definitely I will be showing up. I will start showing up on these spaces a lot more, and make the voice heard of everyone. Right? That's basically the idea of Pulsara decentralization. Like everyone has a voice. So all right, guys. Again, thank you very much. I gotta jump out, but I appreciate everyone. Honestly, all the support, all this warm welcome, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
That's great. Sorry, Tokyo, if I got you up a little bit too late there. Welcome. Open floor if anybody wants to come up. I got so many things rattling around in my brain right now with questions from what we've taken in here in the last 3 hours. It's going to be a long day.
You had a question?
Yep. there was quite a few steps going from my bank account to the exchange, then to the DEX, then bridging over onto the main net. I was wondering, to get money back into my account, would we just reverse the steps?
Corium mainnet off ramp. I don't utilize the centralized exchanges, to be honest, at all. Uphold and BitTrue, both I think handle mainnet Corium. That would probably be the easiest way to get it onto an exchange, I guess. I personally haven't off ramped any though, so I'm probably not the right person to speak to that.
Okay, thank you. I'll check it out today.
Can anybody confirm Uphold and BitTrue, are they both mainnet Corium?
I know BitTrue is mainnet Corium. Yeah, I believe Uphold as well. They should be there.
Right on, guys. Well, it's been a pretty powerful podcast again today. Definitely trending on that front. Every week just gets more and more amazing. I got a bunch of requests coming in here. Oh, we got Chris from Fight Farm. Come on in, guys. Open floor. No hands needed.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to confirm that the Corium on Uphold is the Corium mainnet, and I do believe you can send it and receive it on Uphold, and then there's an off ramp straight to your bank account from there.
Yeah, it's Chris. One thing to consider, guys, too, is Corium is going to be paired with Atom, like on Osmosis, and plenty of dexes. So don't feel like if there's not a lot of off ramps for Corium directly. I mean, the ability to trade out to like USDC, Atom, Osmosis, things that are definitely on plenty of centralized exchanges. Like you can get Atom to Coinbase. So if there's any Coinbase users, it's easy to trade your Corium on a DEX to Atom and then get it over to Coinbase if you're having a problem finding like a main place for Corium, because those things will grow as Corium gets more liquid. But for now, don't feel like you have to off ramp in Corium. You might lose a few points here and there on fees, but ultimately that's not going to matter.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Picked a good time to DCA into Corium there a couple of weeks ago.
Yep, I'm going to keep it up, man. Pretty impressive, especially with that airdrop coming. I'm just going to keep DCA in. So yeah, timing was impeccable. Thanks for the referral on that.
For those of you who don't know, Chris has a really cool project over on OmniFlix there, Fight Farm, FlixBets. Just had an event last night, in fact. Really, really cool thing he's building over there. I did a really long interview, and I know some of you don't like those long ones, but it's packed full of information worth your time. If you're having a long walk or something, need some background info, I recommend you check that out. Really great mind, and really happy that he's made his way to Corium.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I'm actually doing the payouts from last night's fights as we speak. I did a breakdown this morning, but then I had to travel 3 hours, so I just got out of the car and kind of got settled. So all the winners for those two NFTs for those two fighters, I'm sending out the payments. So we'll start dropping the marketing for next month's fight on January the 20th, and look forward to it, man. Wait till you guys see. That's the other thing too, is not only am I sending out the payments, but for everyone that bought either the scrapped or the chaotic, I'm going to get the special Archie's NFTs out. But wait till you see these ones for the next collab artist. So I can't wait to get someone on Corium. So that's one thing I would say that's Corium related. If there's anyone here that is either on a DEX or an NFT project, anyone that wants to do a collab NFT with one of our fighter NFTs, it's a good way to get your name out there, to introduce yourself to people that follow us over on OmniFlix. And man, Archie's had a really cool integration with us this month. I'm not going to announce who's next month's for January's, but some of you guys will recognize them. If you go check my Twitter feed, you can kind of guess and put two and two together to see who it is. But wait till you see their collab NFTs they created for these two fighters. And I'm looking forward to bridging our marketing over to Corium and getting some really cool Corium NFT and DeFi projects and trying to do marketing and building with you guys. So if anyone is interested in that, definitely shoot me a DM.
Well, I think I got in on a good time, Chris.
Thanks.
Thought you might like that.
Yeah, I got in on Flick's bets on Chris's project too. Just in time. I'm looking forward to seeing that project grow.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the support, man. We enjoy it, and for anyone out there, even if you don't like MMA or UFC, it's just a cool way to do NFTs and reward your community. So, I'll be looking to work. If anyone is looking at launching an NFT project here on Corium, definitely hit me up. I can give you tons of ideas and tons of my experience just as an NFT creator. And there's some really cool stuff that I may try to do on Corium as well, depending on how the NFT markets shake out. I'm kind of sitting back and watching as you guys develop these platforms over here on Corium and trying to figure out like where would I launch at and what would I do. But I do have some ideas, so I'm going to try to bring over this way.
Yeah, it's these spaces can be powerful. I met Chris through OmniFlix X spaces that they hold regularly, and the only reason I stumbled across that is because OmniFlix has a validator on the Corium network. So what's happening there down the road, don't know. But man, am I glad I did. Like the wealth of knowledge I've gained from the OmniFlix community, the Cosmos ecosystem, people like Chris here. I tell you, like it's they're way ahead of us as far as the governance and IBC and everything. Like, there's a lot you can learn from that ecosystem. Now we're connected. You can send Corium over to Osmosis. So I know myself, I was having a challenge getting it from the OmniFlix wallet to the Atom wallet, and these are just new things I haven't had to deal with before. So it's really powerful that these community members are integrating with us over here in our platform. A couple of them have joined our Discord here lately, and we can help them. They can help us, and that's what's great about all of this is having a platform to share these ideas and onboard people onto our network and learn to articulate. Has also started building on OmniFlix. He has a channel there. He just launched some NFTs. I'm going to try as we close this. I've been trying so hard to get his song on the space here, but I'm going to try as we close to play that out from there. But yeah, there's a lot of great minds in this community. And that's why I just seen a need, much like a year ago, I seen a need for a YouTube channel to talk more about Corium. It's the only one out there that was, I shouldn't say the only one, the main one out there at the time was just Zen Lounge. And though he was providing great content, I mean, that was the only content for the most part. Not to dismiss the other contributors. I know there was some, but Zen Lounge built up a huge following, and so I started this channel, and obviously it was needed. It's taken off, and we got a lot to learn and grow together. So it's exciting to see the quality of people that are joining these spaces and communities. And Michael, I figured you might want to come up, seeing as we're talking about collaborations. I thought that might be right up your wheelhouse there.
Yeah, I just sent Chris there a message about collaborating with him. So that'd be great if we could get a Epic Creations collaboration.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. I just followed you that way. I can see your DM. I'll check it on the back channel.
That would be great.
Yeah, it's great. And I know I was in the OmniFlix space there the other day, and Articulate was making deals left, right, and center during the space. And that's what's great. And that's what this is all about, guys. Great turnout tonight. It's going to be tough to top this podcast in the weeks ahead, but we're certainly going to come here every week and try. And a lot of that content came from the great questions and contributions from the community itself. So we need you in here to ask these great questions.
Great job, everybody. If you don't mind me interjecting, in regards to collaborations, look in the comments. I did post a photo of the skateboard that is the giveaway in the Corium Concepts prize package, and I'm sure Michael can get that thing whipped up as an NFT on the Rise Marketplace pretty quick. So that'll be available, I guess, when you say so, Chris, and we'll get that shipped out. I got some of the hats shipped out, and I would like to give one more hat away if anyone wants to, I guess, raise their hand. Or I'm trying to think of a question. Anyone have a good question? We could do a trivia. See if anyone would like to win a hat today. How about what's the year that the Kingdom of Hawaii was the Constitution of the Kingdom of Hawaii? What year was that dropped? That's my question.
Well, thank you for that. I'll let everybody do their Googling. Well, I thank you for your contributions to the prize package that I'm giving away here. It's going to be later tonight. I might delay it a couple hours. This is taking a little bit out of my day that I wasn't expecting, but no regrets. But yeah, thank you so much for doing that with that skateboard. Powerful prize package. There's several members in the community. Some of them are here. Chris also sent me a few fighter NFTs to throw to the prize pool. Marco and Mackenzie, they both donated from their personal package of NFTs. I know Zero Cool, if he's still in here, he's donated. Crypto Ed, my friend from BC here. Yeah, so it's going to be cool to hand all those out. There's pretty big value of NFTs going to be given away tonight. For those that made it this far, if you haven't commented on the videos this week, you might want to do that. You don't need to spam it, but just one comment will get you in an entry with a fairly limited number of people for a pretty amazing prize package. I'm giving that away tonight just based on the comments on this week's YouTube videos, Corium Concepts. So thanks again. Sorry to cut into your giveaway there.
No worry. And then I have a question for L1. In regards to someone like me, anybody that wants to build an application on Corium, like for example, a retail market, to what I see as a way to help onboard new users. Do you have any guidance or any recommendations for someone like us that we're about to, really start building? Would you give us any guidance or direction as far as how new users like us can build on Corium?
Hey, yeah, sure. So I think like the big part of the work right here will be probably what is related to the user interface and probably the backend code. And what is cool with Corium and because like it's with smart token, you wouldn't have a lot of custom development to do on the smart contract side. So I believe that the heavy lifting will be much on the UI and the backend side. So, but yeah, if you like, maybe send me a DM and I can shoot you some documentation.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Of course. Or even better, maybe what I can do so it can benefit everyone is do like a post or tweet, something like this with some documentation and like create like a use case and like pass through like the different steps that will be needed like to develop such a project.
Cool. Yeah, I just see so many potential applications still yet to build, and I could go on with ideas, but thank you so much. I'll look forward to communicating more with you on that.
All right, awesome. Yeah, at the end of the day, like the tech is here, so it's really the use cases and yeah, like how do you think about the world and about leveraging the technology to fill the gap on some certain use cases.
Right on. Does anybody have anything else? I think I'm getting ready to shut this one down. I hate to. It's been nonstop quality content, but I have to prepare for another live stream tonight. So, and we will meet again next week. Next week is a wide open forum, so it's just meant for everybody to gather and hang out. If you're a content creator or have a project, it doesn't mean you can't come on and announce your project or whatever you're doing, but it'll just be a more open forum for better or for worse, I guess. But the community does need a place to get together and exchange ideas and thoughts. So I look forward to that. If anybody, last call for anything to add today?
Yeah, thanks for having this space, and it was a great interview with Pulsara. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. I learned a lot of things about the DAX. So thank you.
Yeah, great space. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Couldn't do it with all you guys contributing and showing up here. I know it's sometimes easy to listen on the replay, but it proves you show up. Some amazing things can happen and some great questions and answers can be given. So join us again next week. And if that's it, I'm going to pull it. Peace and prosperity to you all.
Broadcasting to your life from the other side of the reset. Articulate.